Howdy ho, everyone. How you doing tonight? Welcome to the Tool Talk Sunday night Tool Talk Live with me and the missus from Montana. And yes, I'm going to move the chat window off of her face here in just a moment.
Whatever. Minor details.
There
we go.
I can make it a little bit bigger or not. There we go.
Tonight, I'm wearing cow ears. I'm about to fall out of this chair.
What are you doing over there?
I'm losing my balance. What are you doing?
Well, just being me. And what the heck did I just click on?
I have not a clue.
As you can tell, we are very professional here, all ready to go. Scrambling at the last minute, trying to get everything set up.
Yep. Minor details. But we're here. Yay.
Let's say hi to everyone real quick. Jehu in the house. Ronald Smith. Adam, RBX, James, Eric, Barbecue 76, Riley Mackey, Wayne Howcraft in the house. And let's see here. Frank Landgriff, Mark Sparks, Steve Deswan is here. Hey, Donna of Raw, of course. And is that everyone? Have we caught up? No, probably not. What are you doing over there?
I'm trying to like it.
Randall, Rye, Frank, Harbor of Doom, Zaphiel in the house.
Hey.
Y-Pop's here as well. Futon, and Prepper Dad, Chaka. Chaka, the truth will be shared once more viewers arrive. Jennifer White Wolf, how's everyone doing tonight?
Hey.
It may look a little different because we're in, as she used to say when she was a little girl, Montana. And we're at our house here in Livingston. And so we're just trying to get everything up. We got here Thursday around midnight. And so today's Sunday. So Friday was pretty much fix the leak day.
Yep.
Actually, I think a bit of Saturday as well.
Yep.
And
I wasn't going to correct you.
We had multiple. Well, no, Friday was get the house mostly clean and get everything unpacked and get them out here to turn the water on, figure out we have a leak. And then Saturday, I guess, was mostly fix the leak day and doing stuff under the house.
Yeah.
And then today has been getting stuff organized around the house, getting my computer set up. The new camera, we're on the new camera. I realize the settings are not perfect. We're going to be playing around with exposure and all that kind of stuff. But it's definitely a better field of view. I think we can get us in here both in a better situation where we're also closer to the camera because it's got a wider angle kind of thing.
I think it also feels weird to me because normally I'm on that side.
That's true.
So I feel really weird on this side. So if I look really weird, that's why.
To them, it probably appears like we're driving over in England because I'm on the wrong side here. But so we got everything. The other thing is we also got the lights installed. So we went ahead and ordered those as well. Again, we just got this equipment. Just got it set up. I don't even have the lights showing it on us. I actually bounced them off the ceiling because I haven't had a chance to white balance them or do any kind of light color tests. Anyway, I know I've been rambling. We just got here 5 minutes in, and I haven't taken any of your messages here. You're in your calls. Zaphiel says hi. Jehu says, what's up, what's up, what's up? Harbor of Doom says, weird seeing you in opposite seats. Randall says, thinking about picking up the DW735X. Any experience with it? No, and I'm terrible at remembering model numbers, so I got to look and see which one you're talking about just to make sure.
Brian Hume says, I have a really practical question for you. Were restrooms available as you traveled? The only restrooms that were available to us were at gas stations or perhaps rest stops. I only stopped at one rest stop. But we wore masks and gloves the whole time and sanitized before and after. But other than that, like drive-through restaurants, all those, there were no restrooms other than gas stations.
You had to stop for restrooms? She was traveling in her
Some of us
Jeep.
aren't boys.
She was traveling in her Jeep with the kids. I was in the trunk with the Labrador.
You were in the trunk? With the Labrador?
With the Labrador. With the candlestick.
Yeah.
And as such, our bathroom needs were more easily met.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The 735X. Sorry. I have not used one personally. I had a good friend I have used it. I wasn't the guy who set it up or anything. I have a friend who has it. I know several people. I have one personal friend who has it. I know several people online who use them. I've talked to pros who use that, who do cabinetry work and stuff. It's probably the single best planer that you can get that's not getting into a true commercial setup. It costs, it's one of the cases where there's just nothing in between. You're either jumping down to one of the lunchbox style. I keep trying to look over here because I'm used to the camera being over here. Sorry. You either have to get into one of the lunchbox style planers, which are going to cost half of this or less, or you're going to be in the, $1,500 to $3,500 range for a really true commercial kind of planer. It's just kind of that spot in between. What are you doing over there?
I have my other bell. And Halen Wolf had a super chat.
Well, you've got to give a shout out for the sponsor of the bell. The bell is sponsored by...
Oh, wait. Hang on.
Whoa.
It's Brad's Workbench, right?
I know. I'm trying to get it to work and focus and see it.
It's not focused.
It's not going to focus.
Yeah.
Brad's Workbench.
Yes.
Sponsored cowbell.
We're still working out our camera.
Yeah.
It's still new.
It's set on eye focus, so it can't figure out where the eyes are.
Right? It's like, what's going on? So, Halen Wolf for the $5 super chat. It says, so glad you made it safely. Good evening, bears. So if you have ears and they're sensitive, you might want to cover them. We're going to do the old school cowbell because we're back in Montana.
Oh, that's terrible.
Cover your ears. I love you too. Ooh, that is much louder than I remember it being. Belle's like, what does that bell mean? Is it an emergency? She's like running back and forth in the living room. Thank you so much, Halen Wolf, for the super chat. We are glad to be here safe and sound. It was definitely a long day. But honestly, I was surprised that I was not more tired when I got here.
Yeah, you were ready to
I was ready to
walk a marathon.
Yeah.
Or something.
I was like, let's go do something. Except that we're here for
1:30 at night, and you just drove 15 plus hours.
Yeah. So I was I was totally fine. You were like, let's go to bed. I'm like,
she was in shock,
tired.
is what she was.
I was just amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe it means that I'm really meant to be a trucker.
Yeah.
Can you make that window go away? Because it's driving me crazy.
It's not even a... oh my
I don't
gosh.
care. Just thank you.
Pop-ups annoy her. So, also, I just wanted to point out that because we have the lights and we have the camera, if you notice the tip jar down right there doesn't have a picture of any of the products that we need. What it does show you is what?
A turkey.
What kind of turkey? Is it a domesticated turkey? No.
I don't know.
So what would you call a non-domesticated turkey?
Turkey lurkey? Oh, wild turkey. Oh, yes.
Wild turkey.
It's the Wild Turkey Fund. There's no wild turkeys here. Also, guess what else we remembered when we got back here?
We forgot the booze.
And that we live in what state currently?
Montana.
That is a
state liquor store state.
Yes. We were like, oh.
Blue laws.
Blue laws.
Yeah. Coming from Vegas, which is like blue laws.
You're like, what kind of laws?
Why would you paint your colors, your laws certain colors?
Did you pay a cover? It's great. Yeah. Whatever.
And to a state that has no sales on Sundays and you have to go to a state liquor store to you have to go to a state liquor store or you can go to some bars.
Bars are not open here.
That's true. But I mean, if they were open, you could go to the bar and buy carryout.
Right.
So there is that.
So I am so sorry. I missed some super chats. So Halen Wolf, I'm just double checking that you were the first one. I think you were. And then Shaka says, Ryobi is terrible. It's horrible garbage. Waste of money. Cover your ears. $2 super chat. Bing, 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 bing. I have to have a ding, bidding. I don't know. That doesn't go bing, 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 bing. So thank you so much. And we're so happy to have you, Shaka. Eric says $14.99 super chat. How much cowbell can I get for this? Daughter of Ra, don't hurt me. Why are you taking my cowbell?
Give it. I'm doing it this time.
Okay.
I'm going to show you to do cowbell.
Okay.
If you're offended by cowbell or you're wearing headphones, you want to take them off or mute it.
Yes.
Give a countdown from 3.
3, 2, 1.
That's how you do cowbell. Are you going to respect the bell?
I don't even know who you are. Bell's like, I have my toy.
The dog is going
like,
crazy. She's like, this must be. Oh, hi. Wait, you know what? She hasn't said hi. Come here. Come on.
She's going to wreck everything.
Oh, you're going to bring it? Come here.
She was like, I have my Kong.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Come here.
Do you think it's Kong time?
Up. Oh, there she is. Ooh. Ooh. She's very vicious.
No one can see her.
She's very excited. When I pulled up in the truck, because I got here before she did, I pulled up in the truck, and the dog was kind of asleep, and she was like, and she got up, and she looked, and she saw the house, and her eyes got big, and she looked around, and she looked at me, and she looked at the house. She's like, I know where we are. And ever since we've been here, she has been just thrilled. Because one of the things, last year, they went back about a month before I did. And so the last 4 weeks was just me and the dog. And so everywhere I went, everyone else around here drives around with their dog. I let her come with because there was no one else in the truck.
Montana rules.
So she got used to, as soon as we were back here, I went to go somewhere. She was at the front door like, ready to go, Dad. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And I forgot that she's like, I know the rules. This is Montana. She came in, she got on the couch, which she's not allowed back at the other house.
Yep.
She's not allowed on the furniture back
She's
there.
like, I'm allowed on the furniture here. Right?
She knew all the rules.
Yeah. Well, also, she's a little excited right now
Hush,
because
Moto. Oh my
shut up,
gosh.
Moto. Because she also just chased some deer in our front yard. She thinks that they are super fun. The deer are like, you are obnoxious. Why are you bothering us? So yeah. So I think that's why she's also super excited.
Well, I send her after the deer, and you get all pissy about it.
Well, because I don't want her to scare the deer.
You think they're not going to come back? You think they're afraid of the Labrador? Yeah. She's so vicious. Anyway, let me say. Oh, you got more?
Tony Fleming, $10. It says cowbell. So cover your ears. Daughter Fra is going to hurt me, aren't you? 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
I was going to say at first it doesn't hurt that much the way you do it.
It does.
But that time it did.
Yeah. That's because you told me how I was doing it wrong, so now you have me doing it a different way.
Just so you know,
louder.
she does still have her bell, so don't make her use it.
Halen Wolf with the $10 super chat says, I got a fever that can only be cured with more cowbell. By the way, love Ryobi. Kick arse. Nice. So Halen Wolf and Shaka are going to be dueling it out later. $10 super chat from Halen Wolf while a child is asking me homework questions.
Asking you for a hug.
I love you. Okay, cover your ears. Okay, Halen Wolf, this is for you. So thank you. We're back with our cowbell by Brad's Workshop. But if you would like the other bell, which some people prefer.
You may specify.
Yes, you may specify. And if you say no bell, I will comply, but I will be sad on the inside.
Single tear in your eye.
Single tear.
All right, we got lots of people still to say hi to because you've been going nuts over there. Tony says hi.
She dropped her Kong under the table. She's like,
Sorry.
I want Gus to play with me.
You need to dig it out for her. She's going to be a sad hound. Tony from Roswell, New Mexico says howdy. Paul St. Marie says, Elsie, Barry, you need some Elmer horns. Mike says, howdy, y'all. Listen while burning a bush, and no, Moses has nothing to do with it. Nice. And let's see here. Jim Haynes says, what, you didn't bring the toolbox? What? No, we did not bring the Icon toolbox. I thought about just towing it behind the truck. I brought the Yukon, and I already had the double stack Harbor Freight 24 inch? It's the small one, which honestly I've been able to fit most of my hand tools into. I didn't bring all my hand tools, so that's why. But I brought my essentials, and I had some here, so we were able to kind of mix and match. We're still kind of find places for everything. Can I help you, dog? She's like, you're not playing with me. And
Oh my gosh.
now she's knocking stuff over. Gene says, Heidi Ho from Valrico, Florida. Gene and Robin say hi to the Bear family. Thank you so much. Jay Who says, switching it up nice and bright. Excellent.
Yeah, we still need to work on it because my dark circles look really fantastic in
Oh,
this
the
light.
light shadowing
looks
is very
really
nice.
awesome. So we're going to fix that because I kind of look like I'm crazy.
Well, you have been kind of going hard at it last few days. Boy, that drive is something else. It's a beautiful drive. Yeah. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous drive with very little of the drive where you're like, well, this is just boring, desolate.
I would say the beginning part where you're in the desert a lot.
I like the desert. And you're not in the desert that long because it's only really up until you hit St. George. And then after St. George, you're in the southern Utah Valley, and the valley just keeps opening up more and more.
I have to say, like up until
and around St. George is Zion. So.
It's there's some sort of emergency, and all of the dogs in the neighborhood are howling.
The hounds are howling.
Bella's like, I do not understand why they're howling. We do have a couple super chats. I don't know if you want to get
Let me say hi to some people real quick. Ronald Smith says, how's the weather up there? How's everything? How much difference is it? Oh, it's so nice. It is so comfortable. It's in the 60s, low 60s, low 40s at night. It got down to 37 with snow on the road about 20, 30 miles west of West Yellowstone. I was a little concerned because she was behind me, and I thought by the time she got there, sun would set. Didn't want it to get icy on her. But the other thing is, it's also a thermal area. And so there were large patches where there was snow everywhere, but the road was pristine and clear.
Yeah.
Michael says, hey, at the Den of Tools. Mark Sparks says, Mrs. Bear, did you know that Ra's daughter is Hathor and often depicted as a cow?
Yes, I read that. I did not know that previously. I'm helping people with homework while we're doing this at the same time. So,
all right, just a second there. It jumped on me again.
Also, our weather was totally crazy today.
Oh, there was a microburst this morning in downtown Livingston. I realize it's kind of an oxymoron, but the general store lost its roof, and they thought at first it was an explosion because it looks like it exploded upwards. But if you look at it right, what seems to happen is it blew in through the window and out the top, and knocked down some trees around it. But apparently somebody said that they saw what looked like a funnel cloud, like it just spiked in that one spot. And it's really kind of sad because they opened up because there was a store here called Shopco. It's kind of like Kmart. They closed last year. If you've seen the little electric scooter we have, the mobility thing, we bought it from there from $100 when they were closing because it was $100 and it could be turned into a go-kart or something. I don't know what we're going to do with it. Anyway, the fact is that so this store had opened to kind of take the place. You could buy socks and underwear and
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, general store. And they just got its roof ripped off for no reason.
And they opened really shortly before everything happened, and of course everybody had to close. And they were really great about doing like curbside pickup, which for such a small place is like totally a godsend.
And deliveries.
I don't know if they did deliveries.
I heard they did deliveries.
Okay.
For
But
people who were in need who couldn't get out and about.
Right. So they were super awesome. They did a lot of stuff for the community. And so we will definitely be rallying around them. It was just such crazy, weird weather. So
Frank says, good to see you there. I was going through withdrawals. Matt says, greetings and salutations at the Den of Tools. Greetings. And Princess Jamie's. By the way, if you missed it, check out Joe Smith and Friends Network. He did an interview with Princess Jamie this past Friday. It was a great show. She says, hello from sunny and hot San Antonio.
Yes, I'm not missing that. I'm sorry.
Randall says, sorry, it's a thickness planer. No worries. It's, I'm always confused by DeWalt's numbers. They're the way they do things. It's not as confusing as Glock. Glock's like, well, we came out with this one. Let's give it this number.
And I read that as a thickness planner, and I'm like, ooh, planning. What are we planning?
Jody says, hello from Livingston, Louisiana.
Oh, hello, neighbor.
And Brad's workbench in the house. You've seen that cowbell now, haven't you? As soon as we got here, we were like, there's the cowbell.
Yes.
People will be thrilled. What happens to your house in Nevada? Do you rent it out? We rent the house in Nevada, and no, it's all of our other stuff is there. We've got too much stuff, honestly.
Not for long.
Yeah, we're trying to get rid of it.
Yep.
Prepper Dad said, made a trip to the freight today, and we've got actually friends who are staying there, so the house isn't empty. Prepper Dad said, made a trip to the freight today. Pleasant trip, even though they're having a hard time restocking, as is to be expected. Yeah. And DR Falcon in the house. How's it going, my man? He says, hi, glad you're all safe and sound. Thank you so much. Groove Jet says, Heidi ho, campers. Something different. Mrs. DeBear's grown a beard. Mr. Bear's wearing a dress. What the?
So you noticed.
And Ralph Smith says, so far, everything looks really good and you sound good. Excellent. Thank you so much. Randall says, Amazon has it for $5.90, which is about $60 less than Home Depot. Man, you won't regret it. I mean, it's expensive, but if you're doing serious woodworking, there's nothing in that price. You're gonna have to double or triple the price to come to something close. Your only hope to find something in that price range that might be as good is finding a used Grizzly, was a 15, 16-inch planer. It's a massive machine, and it's fabulous. But I mean, how often do you run across one of those? So,
we have 5 super chats.
Okay, go for it.
I have to super chat it, and then you will catch up. Anthony Chiappa, and I hope that I'm saying your last name correctly. If I'm not, please correct me. I hope everyone is staying safe and well. $5 super chat. Thank you so much. We are definitely staying safe. We are socially distancing, socially isolating, whatever. We are behaving ourselves and washing our paws at all times. So thank you so much. $5 super chat. It's going to be a cowbell. Cover your ears if you are sensitive. Thank you. Thank you so much. Don't make faces at me.
White Pop says, if dogs are people, your family can't be together.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know why.
I don't know. Somebody's requesting both bells. Randall J says both bells. Both is good. $2 super chat. Okay, cover your ears.
Oh my gosh.
Bing, 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 bing. That was a cacophony of sound. Pretty sure the sheriff is going to show up and be like, what are you people doing?
Very musical. Barbecue 76 says, you took a sip and said it's terrible. Made a face. Want me to grab you a beer?
Yes, he would like you to grab him a beer or anything else. He does not like my drink at all.
Oh, hey, where's my cigar?
I have no idea. I'm not in charge of your cigar.
You hit it, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I was angry that you bought
back.
it. Halen Wolf says, $2 super chat, says 139 watching and only 39 likes. Come on, smash it. Okay, cover your ears. 3, 2, 1. Barbecue 76 with a $2 super chat. Only cowbell and no bing bada ding for the night. What? I don't know if I can do that. I mean, I really care for you, Barbecue 76, but I don't know if there can be no bing bada bing for the whole night, but we'll see. So everyone else cover their ear. No, everyone who has sensitive ears, cover your ears. Barbecue 76. Wow, I've missed how loud it is. And I also kicked myself out of my comments. We have one more for
I'm back.
Pointed Spider. $2 super chat. Love the chat. Want some green stuff she's drinking. You know, on the video, it really looks like Slimer. That's what I feel like I'm drinking. It's keto friendly. It's vodka. So I will ring this. Cover your ears. $2 super chat for Pointed Spider. Okay, I want to make sure I didn't miss anyone. Oh, no, I didn't miss anyone. I think I rang it for Halen Wolf. So thank you so much, Pointed Spider. Thank you, Barbecue76, Halen Wolf, Randall J, Anthony. Thank you so much. And I believe I am caught up. Daughter of Ra is going to hurt both of us.
Is she?
She's thinking about it. That is like the world's tiniest cigar.
Yep.
It's like a cigar baby.
So I knew someone was going to ask what this is. It's a Fuente Gran Reserva. It was recommended to me, so.
I wasn't going to ask.
Anyway. So let's see here. So you caught up on all of them? All Super Chats? We're all good
current.
now. Okay.
Yes, we are current. You're going to talk, and then somebody's going to do another one, then we're going to be behind.
Well, I was going to let everyone say hi to our other family member who hasn't been with us, but is now that we're here in Montana. Steve.
Oh, yes.
Hold on.
I was like, which family member are we talking about? Everyone hang on to... That's Steve. Say hello, Steve.
Anyway.
Steve's kind of more of the quiet, silent type. Yep. Maybe include me in the picture. Just
I don't know.
You don't know.
So anyway, in all the other previous, live streams where we talked about Steve, now you have officially met Steve. Steve, family, Steve. Good.
Yes.
And let's see here. Brian says, thanks for your answer to the restroom question. We're going to be traveling from Georgia to Arkansas and wondered about them. Yeah, because you tried to use one at a fast food restaurant. They were closed. So yeah.
So I would definitely say, I'm sorry, go ahead.
All the truck stops were open.
Yep.
And doing a thriving business.
And I would have to say that every place we stopped had hand sanitizer. They also had like regular, hand washing facilities.
Yeah.
But people were, it wasn't like, sometimes you stop and you're like, ooh, I don't want to use this bathroom. Definitely not the situation. I would say still bring toilet paper. Maybe a 5-gallon bucket. If you get really stuck. Why are you making a face at me?
Anyway, Princess Jimmy says, had some of that Wild Turkey 101 last night, then woke up to put up a transfer case in, was super dehydrated. Yeah, it'll do that to you.
I think there's a warning label about dehydration on the side of
There should be.
Yeah.
Rodman says, live and in color from the Montana kitchen. Hello to all you Urseds. And Wes says, Redemption Garage is at again and watched 3 of his videos. He said the word tools 500,000 times, made himself look like a tool in all of them. You try to help some people, and that's what hit. They end up, imploding like that. And let's see here. Do the Deliverance song. No, I'm not doing the Deliverance song. Anthony says, thank you for making my son's birthday. He loved the shirt the Bears sent.
Aww.
And let's see here. Frank says, I like the cowbell better. Mike says, cowbell sometimes equals great classic rock tune. Raul says, for some reason, the cowbell does not sound right. Sounds like it's muffled. It's a deeper sound, so it doesn't ping through, I guess, as much.
Well, and I have to say that it's been so long that I'm like, I was surprised by the sound. I think it's because I'm so used to our bing, bada bing, bing. Bada bing, bada bing, bada bing.
It's not Vanilla Ice.
Bing, 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 bada bing, bing.
Yeah, see.
Bing, bing,
And
bing, bing,
Jennifer
bing.
White Wolf says, well, in Turkey, we have a very regulated state license store here in Oregon. Limited hours, fixed prices, all special orders processed through the state distribution. Oh, I hate state liquor stores. I hate them with a passion.
I don't think I really knew that I hated them till this trip. Mainly because we bought some alcohol before when we were in Vegas to like stock up when we were there, and then didn't really drink it, and we're planning to bring it and forgot. And then we got here and we're like, well, what are we going to do? And then I was like, how much was this? It's ridiculous.
And Barbecue76 says, now you're explaining liquor laws. I don't get it now. Or I get it now. I don't miss state liquor stores at all. Even in communist California, we aren't that draconian. No, it's, you usually only see that in states that still have a lot of blue laws. I can remember, Ohio, we don't have drive-through liquor stores. Then you'd have to pop your trunk. They'll put it in your trunk. I hear there's some places, I think Louisiana, Texas, where you can drive through, get it in a cup, as long as there's no straw in it.
Yep.
You're good to go.
Well, and I even want to say in the Central Valley, they were allowing drive-through, like if you purchased food and the establishment had a liquor license. And one of my friends was like, I was a little concerned about driving home because I have this drink in my, cup holder and it's booze. Some places put like saran wrap on it and then put the lid on it. But I think it's one of those like, what are you going to do? It's kind of, everything's in flux. There probably isn't really going to be somebody busting you unless you're totally trashed driving with it.
Where are the ashtrays?
Outside where the smoking happens.
I'm pretty sure your dad never went outside to smoke.
I'm pretty sure he did.
No.
There is an ashtray out there. I have another one. Ooh, actually, I have a really cool ashtray. So my dad's house, which really is our house. I don't know why I keep calling it my dad's house.
In your heart, it will always be your dad's
It will
house.
always be my dad's house. My dad has a lot of treasures. So I will go get the funky time warp ashtray.
Treasures, all right.
They
Perfect
are the
choice.
correct choice of words.
I would say the perfect choice for that word.
Daughter of Ra, keep an eye on him.
Wolfie says, hello, Labradoggo and Mr. Cowbell. And Paul St. Marie says, we're auctioning off Ryobi's review ratings. And let's see here. Rodman says, would that be the Nobel Peace Prize? She comments, ha 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 ha. And Robert says, headed to Vegas with my trailer to go icon hunting. Cool. Nice.
So this is the cool ashtray.
Oh, I do like that ashtray. That one is pretty cool. It looks like a geode or something.
Yes, I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's probably worth a pretty penny. There you go. There's an ashtray.
Wow.
So
This probably is, other than the little chip out
I know
of it.
it has a little chip in it, but that's the story of my life. I am going to have to pop out here because I asked our son to bring his homework, to which he brought me the stack. That's not what I meant. I meant for him to be doing it.
I'll try to see if there's any like
Marks
on it or anything.
We also have like some original Tupperware lids. I don't know where the Tupperware is, but I was actually thinking that I might put that on eBay because I am that person that would like lose the lid and be super thrilled that somebody is just selling the lid. So there are definitely some treasures that are going to be going on OfferUp and eBay because...
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Yeah,
All right.
I've looked too before.
All right. Donna Ross says, did the cross stitch get located?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Daughter of Ra, I'm assuming since you mentioned it that it's okay that I show it because it's one of my favorites in the entire world.
We need to get a frame for that.
We do. And as soon as I'm able to, I will.
Yeah. We are supposed to be isolating for 2 weeks, so we're not really going to any stores or anything right now.
See how beautiful that is? So, yes, I have it. It's going to go in a frame. It's beautiful.
You should press it in a book right now to get it nice and smooth.
Well, I was going to iron. Yes, but yes. I like how you're telling me how to do that. Thanks,
Yes.
honey. I appreciate that.
You're
Don't you have
welcome.
something to... Well, Griffin, you can't figure it out because I'm holding it right now. So,
Princess Jamie says, I brought my essential tools when I moved from Texas to PA, then decided to build a rock crawler trail Jeep, and essential tools were not enough. I ran into that last year as well. And I was trying to be really good about this year. I'll be honest, as far as power tools, I think I only brought the Bauer stuff. Because there's just only so much things we didn't have the trailer with us this year. We actually left the trailer here. I'm going to do a whole nother video on that because we left the trailer up here to sit through an entire Montana winter. And it was a bad one. So we're going to do a review, walk through around the trailer, see how
I almost
it
gave
survived.
it away.
Did you now?
Yes.
And
Not the trailer, my opinion about how it fared.
And the anyway, but yeah, because of that, there was only so much things. The one essential thing that we did bring, chest freezer full of food.
Yes. So
Which is why we don't have to be running to the grocery store every 5 minutes.
So that was brilliant on both of our parts. But yeah, we brought an entire freezer. I brought like 20 pounds of beef, 10 pounds of bacon.
It's one of the, so they have the full size, which is like an entire refrigerator turned on its side. Then they have the half size, and then there's like the little tiny quarter size. This is like the half size one. And it's a respectable size, and it was packed full to the point where you had to put a ratchet strap on it or whatever to keep it shut. It was that full. And we had a shop vac on top in a box on top of it, whole thing ratcheted down. And the way we got it in the truck, because we didn't unload it at all, was I used that Harbor Freight lifting cart. I was able to, both of us together, we rocked it up, got the cart in there, slid it up on the cart. And now the one thing with because I've got the 500 pound, not the 1,000 pound. I still want to get the 1,000 pound. Maybe that'd be something good to get while we're up here.
Why are you looking at me?
And no reason. And so the 1,000 pound will actually lift to the level of the tailgate. The 500 pound cart will lift to about 4 inches below the tailgate. But our driveway slanted, so I pulled the truck down so that it backed into the slope and was able to meet up with it and slid it right on, completely full. It was so easy. Now, when we got here, we had to unload it, take it off, reload it, spin it around the other way. And actually, we didn't do that until Saturday. We got here, and we plugged it in, ran an extension cord out, just left it in the back of the truck for a day and a half. But anyway, just so nice, because she's a couponer. So we get lots of food, dirt cheap, and then, either get dry storage or dog. Bella, you're being a little stalkerish over there. Come here. She's staring at him like, can I come in? Is everyone going in there? It's okay. It's okay. Anyway. So, I've been rambled long enough. I should get going here. Joe Smith and Friends says, howdy. And Paul says, the pups are serenading you. Yeah.
Yes.
That's saying about the dogs howling before.
Yeah.
Fred Hill says, hello from Longmont, Colorado. Sad to say my ulcerative colitis is flaring up. I'm really sorry to hear that.
UC is terrible.
Barbecue 76 says, Miss Bear says she has dark circles. Mr. Bear says, well, we've been going hard at it. I'm just going to leave that one alone.
I know. I was like, we're family friendly. Shh.
Jehu made Jello shots with vodka, soaked gummy bears.
Where are mine?
And Paul St. Marie says, tornadoes are really good at sucking roofs off.
Yes, we observed that
Yeah.
today.
And that's part of the reason, and blowing out windows and stuff was part of the reason why you should open the windows during a tornado.
But we weren't expecting a tornado. So
Yeah. Yes.
Steven Jackson with a $1.99 super chat says, hi, Steve. It's Steve. LOL. I'm going to do this one. You can't see that. This one. Thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat, Steve. Steven. Bing, ding, 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 ding. Thank you.
Yeah, I like the cowbell better.
I know you like the cowbell better, but it's not always about what you like. Sometimes it's about what I like.
Don't lie, woman.
Just keep reading. You're behind.
Asylum says, hello, everyone. Sorry I missed last week. Hey, you guys are on the wrong sides, but glad to see you made your trip safely. It's surprising how much that gets ingrained in you about what side you're supposed to be on.
Yeah.
Robert says, I'll catch a flight up there and the bears and I can rebuild the roof. That would be awesome. That's a good thing we should do. Maybe I should call down there, see if they need help. One of the local roofing, the community is really coming together. People are talking about raising money to help support them. The local roofing company is talking about offering their time as well. Steven says, dinner's done. We have SOS since we talked about it last weekend. Where is it? There was a jar of...
We have the dried beef.
Dried beef here.
Yep. So I'm super excited. I'm going to make trying to make it gluten-free. I made gluten-free lasagna tonight. But yes, SOS would be delicious.
David Fry says, looking at the Daytona Crossbeam for $40, your opinion on it. I've never used it. It's a crossbeam. I guess
Okay,
I don't.
It'll be a minute. Please shut the door.
I don't think much of it. It's what you can put on a jack to extend it for lifting something wider like lawnmowers or other stuff. Or I guess anything that spans like that.
Go on, Griffin. Griffin has had 2 bowls of pasta, but he has homework, so he's starving right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do I keep drinking yet?
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, I was sending a message to Griffin's teacher. I apologize. I'm back.
Do you think the state liquor store is open at 6:42 on a Sunday?
I'm going to say no. Oh. And they're also going to say, have you been home for 14 days?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have to send some messages to some friends to have some home deliveries made.
Yeah.
We are being very good. We don't think that we are contagious, but, there's lots of people that are asymptomatic.
We're just trying to be respectful.
Yeah. We're, and we're following the rules.
But we've already had friends, drop off packages and stuff for us.
Yep,
so.
Absolutely. So we are super grateful. We love Livingston and we love our community here. So we are super grateful.
Donna Ross said it was just a different type of SOS.
What does that mean? I'm confused. I saw that earlier. I don't know what that means.
Toolhead says it's going to be 107 on Thursday here in Phoenix. Well, tell you what.
I'm really sorry.
Come on up. You can have the kids' room. They'll sleep on the futon. Because it's only going to get worse. 107 is springtime in Phoenix. SOS is not biscuits and gravy, but it's related but different. It is in that same family, isn't it? I never even thought about it like that, but it definitely is.
Biscuits and gravy?
It's meat on carbs with gravy.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because I am not a biscuits and gravy kind of girl. I know that you are a biscuits.
How did I end up marrying you?
It's okay, honey. You don't like breakfast. How did I marry you?
Well, I do like some breakfasts.
He really doesn't, folks.
I like biscuits and gravy.
Anyways,
I like pancakes.
Yeah. So I have been working on.
I like wild turkey.
Okay, that's not breakfast, dear. Don't share that you have that for breakfast. Oversharing. But I have been thinking about biscuits and gravy. Like I have really been hankering for that. And I am gluten-free and trying to be a good keto girl. So I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to make that happen.
Watch out.
Can I help you?
What happened to your forehead?
Yeah, I asked him not to.
It's got a crease in it.
I know. I think it's a scratch. There was a bunch of cops and robbers that was happening. There was a big game of cops and robbers, so I think perhaps maybe someone was...
No, he had that during it.
Okay. Not really sure what happened to his head, but he... Right now? Not right now.
I'm done with my homework.
I put it in there. The 28th and 29th are the days you need to work on.
I did all of those.
Okay. Then I will give you some more in just a minute. Okay.
Daniel says, I'm not offended by the cowbell when it's at the beginning of Mississippi Queen. I love that song. And Jehu says, Daughter Ra only has 64 subs. Let's get her to 100.
Yes.
We can get there. Asylum asks, what's the difference between SOS and biscuits and gravy? Well, SOS, the way I've heard it is, blank on a shingle, which is basically chipped beef on toast with a white gravy.
Okay, but a lot of people don't know what chipped beef on toast is. Like, they don't know what chipped beef is. It's dried, pressed beef that's very, chipped. Very salty.
Very salty.
And you cut it into either strips or dice it. It's very thin. And then you add it to a gravy. In my family, you also dice up hard-boiled eggs and add it to that. But I think that is just my family that does that.
Yeah,
I don't think that
family.
Most people do that. And then you add salt and pepper, or it's pretty salty, so just pepper. and you serve it on toast. If you're going to be like bougie, you can put it on an English muffin. But its roots are from the military.
I gotta say, I like about anything on an English muffin. So,
Yeah.
Donna Ross says, "Okay, my brain is no longer liking the cowbell." Frank says we had Instapot turkey thighs and baked potatoes. That sounds really good. Do we bring the Instapot?
So the Instapot is MIA. So I'm hoping that my friend Callie has one at her shop, and I will be texting her. I also want to get a air fryer, and I saw that there is a combination, but I'm of the belief that it seems like if you combine those two, that neither one of them would work very well.
I don't think so. Here's my take. So we've got a friend who does a channel called Frickin' Reviews.
Yes.
He's another Las Vegas guy, and he did a thing on air fryers versus whatchamacallit?
Convection oven.
Convection ovens. Like basically it's a toaster oven. Convection. Here's what a convection oven is. A convection oven is an oven with a fan that blows the hot air around. And what that does is it evenly distributes the heat. Once long ago, I had a job for a while working at a pizzeria, and for doing the sandwich kind of stuff, they would use a convection oven. It was like double French door kind of thing, open up. It was an industrial kind of thing, and it would just heat furnace kind of thing, and it would cook stuff so incredibly fast. But and what I learned is it's what happens with the problem with regular ovens is because the heat's just radiant. It has hot spots and cold spots, and that's why things get burned and are imperfect. If you have a convection oven, everything's got that same kind of heat on it. Well, apparently that's all an air fryer is a tiny little, a convection oven. There's nothing special about it. And so I don't see why, because like the one we have that I had in the icon, that was a toaster oven with a fan. It was a convection oven. It was listed on it saying convection oven. And I don't see why we would get an air fryer and not just get another one of those. Which we wanted to bring that, but there was no room in the end.
If we already have a convection, I mean, my thought is if we find one really affordably here,
Yes.
which is a possibility, I would like to pick one up.
Yeah, there's lots of thrift stores around here. So
Yes. So we are on the lookout.
So David says, never heard a cowbell go ding da ding da ding.
David, well, see, that's why you're here on our channel, so that you can hear those things.
Hiram Buffett him in the house. He says, an economy planer or joiner, that's a good idea, Redberry. You can use those things to candleize furniture. People throw in the garbage. Nothing is more invigorating than reclaimed wood. I do love that sort of thing. And if I had the space for it, I would love to get set up with a full shop like that. We're trying to figure out how we're going to set up the whole area here. We don't have a dedicated shop space here. So it's one of those cases where you have to do some kind of makeshift stuff and whatnot. But we get by. We get it done. The actually thinking about renting some shop space here. So I'm going to be out once I get past my 2 weeks. I'll be out doing some looking at some facilities.
Somebody was talking about renting a garage, and somebody we know said that they might have space.
Oh, see.
So.
Paul Marie says, wow, didn't know that mask was a thing. Unicode Consortium is operating faster than I'd expect. And K24 says the cowbell is much better. Steven says, apparently named the deer head after me. Paul Marie says, Fuente is good. Try a Punch Rothschild sometimes. I've always liked those. I'll do that. Mike comments that Steve has a nice rack. He is. He's in full rut, if you noticed.
He's very fancy.
Jehu says, if Donna Raw hits 100 subs, she has to drop some content or at least a quick intro vid. You should definitely do one of those intro vids about how your channel's about nothing and you don't provide any content, because that would really throw people for a loop. Aaron says, Heidi-ho from New Jersey.
Hey.
Paul Marie says, 5-gallon bucket. Just dig a hole. No worse than the old Ohio rest stops. Yeah, I remember some of the not necessarily in Ohio, but back in the day, man. All right, I'm way behind. Let me catch up on some of this stuff real quick. Wolfie says, the buck stopped there, I guess. And Wes says, someone explain state liquor stores. This Kentucky boy has never heard of such. Man, yeah, Kentucky, you're not going to find that. State liquor store means you can only buy alcohol, hard alcohol. You can buy beer and wine at the grocery store and, the convenience store and stuff like that. But hard alcohol can only be bought from a retail outlet that is run by the state. And so, as such, it's pretty much like banker's hours.
Yeah.
And you walk in, and it looks like something you'd see out of like Soviet era Russia. There's no decorations. They just have these straight shelves. The stuff's staggered out there, and you get in a line, you queue through it and stuff, and it's weird, man. It's just weird. Paul says, "Oh well, Mrs. the Bear is struggling with her bell."
I am. I'm super struggling.
Paul says, "The green stuff Mrs. the Bear is drinking looks a lot like absinthe. The drive-thrus in Ohio were just beer, wine, no liquor. Were they? I don't remember.
Really?
That might be true. Well, it was. So they were always. We called them pony kegs in our area, and they were always in a Quonset hut. And you drive through, and you could get. And you might be right. It may just be beer and wine. I think you could get schnapps also, and because it was a very German area, schnapps were a big thing. And you could get certain kinds of magazines, newspaper, candy, gum, cigarettes. I think you could also get milk and ice cream as well. It was like a convenience store drive-through is essentially what it was.
And the only drive-thrus I've been to are the ones overseas, so I know.
Asylum says the ashtray is really cool.
Thank you.
And that it does look like a geode. Also, the bing, bing, bing is better than the cowbell.
See, that's how I feel. But I love my cowbell.
And Scott says, I live in a semi-dry county in Tennessee. Only beer, no liquor, nothing on Sundays. I've been to dry counties. And Rodman says, goofy question. Is Harbor Freight going to try and restock Hardy Nitro gloves before too much longer? I need. I actually heard. Sorry, you're going to say something?
Go ahead.
I actually heard that they're about to start selling to the public again. So expect a large shipment to be coming around, going out to stores, because they feel that they've fulfilled the needs of the local medical workers when it comes to gloves. There's more of a need for masks, but the gloves they're going to start selling again in the retail. You are going to be limited, though, I think, to 2 or 3 boxes because they don't want people to come out and do some sort of stupid rush on them. And Jennifer says, what big projects are planned for this summer? Oh, I'm glad you asked. That's all we've been talking about is projects. So, of course, I was just talking to her. I'm pitching her on the idea of pulling all the galvanized pipe and running PEX through the entire house.
It sounds super fun.
Yeah, the basement down there, downstairs. The house has 2 halves, and I should say it's like 3/4 and 1/4. So the classic, the established house that's been here for over 100 years, is 60 feet long, and then added on, there's an add-in on the side, and that's.
I think that add-on was there in the original picture.
Kitchen and mudroom. Well, if it was redone because
I think it was definitely
this part of the house is on tube wiring and with 2-prong plugs. That part of the house has grounded 3-prong. There's a completely different construction set between this side of the house and that side of the house. So the basement that's under the kitchen area actually has a cement floor. It's about 5.5 feet. I could stand up, but have to duck my head. So I'd say it's about 5.5 feet high. The basement on this side is dirt floor, and it's like 4.5, 5 feet high. I got to stoop down and crawl like a.
See, because I thought the doorway was shorter, but I thought you could stand up more in the other one.
There is a spot right inside the door where you can stand up more, but it slopes.
I'm
up
short,
the hill
so
as
I
you
can
go
stand
in
up
there.
everywhere.
She just walks around wherever she doesn't care.
Hobbit.
And that's where the coal chute is. It comes in right over there. So it's going to be fun crawling around and going to town and ripping out all that pipe, and then running the PEX. Well, should be super easy. That's just a breeze to run. What is going on in there?
I have no idea.
So just listening to the Cubs.
Griffin and Eleanor are allegedly working on homework. So, yeah.
So that's one project I want to do. We have a temporary fix in place for our sewer line, but our sewer line really does need to get dug up and replaced. But that's a huge project. I don't know if it's something we can do ourselves. And the cost for doing it is going to be like $10,000. And we don't have the money for that right now. So
I looked in my purse. I don't have that.
yeah. We got a lot of trees. We got a lot of box elder, which grow crazy. And I'm going to be taking probably about half of those down this year.
I actually am oddly excited about that.
Good.
I think that I'm going to help with that.
You are.
But
the other thing we need to do is down behind the house right now before spring, because spring really hasn't hit here. The trees are just starting to get little green buds on them. It still looks like kind of winterish around here. We get those, I don't know what kind of plants they are that grow up, the big lush green things.
Okay.
That just fills up. We got to go down and wipe those all out right now. So
we have a really big machete.
Yes, so we can actually get back there, because if we let those take root and sprout again, it's gonna be madhouse, because
It'll be wild
they get
kingdom.
nettles and stuff on them.
Yeah.
So we got to do that. We got the side yard that we're either going to pave or build a patio onto, or a deck. Trying to figure that one out.
So if you have ideas, please feel free to submit them.
Trying to think what else, and we got some stuff inside. We got some areas where the lath and plaster is coming down in one of the closets, and that's going to get drywalled. Yeah. And
It'll be super fun. Just keep
what else are
telling
we talking
yourself.
about for first projects?
Um,
Well, I want to retile the bathroom, but that's not happening this year.
yeah, redoing the bathroom needs to happen at some point.
Oh, the office.
Yes,
I want to tackle I don't know where we're going to put everything that's in there.
I don't either. There are so many books. There are so many books.
So when we say office, think a walk-in closet with airs of officeness.
And a lot of books.
And a lot of books.
I mean, the books
And a lot
are
of dust.
so old.
And
So
who knows
old.
what else is still in there.
So old. My dad was a avid reader, and he was also a history teacher and a lover of books. So there's a lot of books, and some of them are really old. So I'm trying to figure out what's the best thing to do with them.
Put them on some of these bookshelves.
But we're not going to read them. So I don't want to just toss them. There is a book dealer in town, but my thought is
I bet you there's a used bookstore in Bozeman.
perhaps.
It's a college town.
Yeah. I guess I'm kind of trying to avoid Bozeman.
Well, I will take it up there
Okay.
next month. All right, we got to get
Yeah.
through these. Sorry. And there's more projects. The back deck we want to redo.
Yes.
That's the other big one. So there are there's a 4-foot wide back deck that runs the length of the back of the house and looks down over the city and the mountains. It's beautiful to sit out there. The posts coming down off of that, half of them go into good solid cement footings. The other half do not. There's one that has a very nice rock, very flat rock that it sits on top of. Another one is two 2x4s. I think they're nailed together and then bound with wire.
You're disparaging my house.
She takes this very
He's going to be
personally.
moving along because
Anyway.
yeah.
Well, I'm telling them because we're going to be reaching out to them for help with some of the ideas and some of the
Right,
stuff.
that's true.
Because like the plumbing.
I am like super sensitive though. So, and I'm realizing that I have to not be so sensitive, but I'm super sensitive.
So like the plumbing, I don't have a problem with doing the work, but I don't know stuff like when it comes to like framing a house and doing that. I know all the code. I know the best practices, that kind of stuff. When it comes to Putting in cabinetry, I can do that. I hate doing drywall, but I understand all of the aspects of drywall. When it comes to running wire, I know that I know what part I can do and when I have to call an electrician. When it comes to plumbing, I can remove plumbing, I can install plumbing, but I don't know what best practices are. I don't know what code is. I don't know, like, hey, don't ever do that thing, because if you put those two types together, it's going to blow up. I had a friend who was a plumber who did plumbing for large buildings, and he explained to me this whole concept of, like, you got to do the math based on the water pressure, on how many levels it is coming down, and the reduction of the pipe. And I'm like, no, don't even have time for it. And so I just know that there's some pitfalls there. I don't know what they are. So I'm going to be relying. We have a friend locally who is an ex-plumber. He left the trade because he got burned out, but he is willing to help some people from time to time. So hopefully he's going to help us with some stuff. But, they like to be involved too, as well.
Yep.
So anyway.
That's true.
And they're like, as far as being involved, we'd like you to read our comments.
Yes. I will be right back. Somebody said, it was Daughter Frost, said Mrs. DeBear is the youngest struggling with homework. He's not typically, but we traveled this week.
He got behind.
So and he's really fine once he actually does it. But him and his sister are doing their homework together.
He's probably the one who's the most on top of it. Although
yes.
Duncan did a great job. Duncan, if you're watching, you did a great job this week with homework. Thank you so much.
I will be right back.
November Romero says, glad you guys made the trip. Me and my 6-year-old son listening. Time to get to work on the project list up there. Yes, it is. David Fry says, we're looking at Harbor Freight Daytona Crossbeams for 40. We talked about that. Randall says, I'm almost 90 pounds down with keto. How are things going with you both? I'm going to try and make some miracle pasta spaghetti. We were doing great until the whole sheltering in place thing happened. And there was a huge run on meat and protein in our area in Vegas. So we were kind of off the keto. We're hoping to get back on it here. We've not been trying to go too crazy. I won't say that we haven't. One of the things we got here, we got there's a local ice creamery, so we had to pick up some ice cream for the kids, and maybe the missus and I had some of that as well. And Silas says, my sister has to have gluten-free. She could eat the Mrs. Lasagna. I had eggplant lasagna once and hated it. Oh, no, that's terrible. Turns out I don't like eggplant. I hate eggplant. And let's see here. Have you used the Earthquake electric ratchet? I have not used it. I've had a lot of feedback from people on the channel who do have it, and they say it's fabulous. They also really like the buffer sander. Hold on. Excuse me. And they say that thing's fabulous. And they just wish there was more items in the Earthquake 12-volt line. And Paul Summary says, y'all good bears. Frank says, I hear the mask order is going down in Ohio. Jehu says, is smothered pork chops like SOS? If you smother the pork chops and then put them on some form of bread, it would be in the same category. Jennifer had SOS for lunch today. Do the biscuits and gravy on your cheat day. You know what it sucks is there is a restaurant in town here that is fabulous. It is straight up home cooked food, and it's cheap. Man, you can go down there, you can get a whole meal for $5-6, just a huge meal, and they do some of the best biscuits and gravy. And I'm picky when it comes to biscuits and gravy. I want the sausage in it. I want to be able to taste the sausage. I want large chunks of it. I want good, solid biscuits. It's just fabulous what they make there. And of course, they're closed because why not? Mike says, I've wondered if it would be possible to combine a hydraulic jack and a jacket stand into one because it seems the safest location for a stand is always being used by the jack. There is. Somebody makes one, and I saw it. How did they set it? It's a bottle jack and the jack stand built into the same thing. And so as it lifts it up, it's like the head of the bottle jack and the jack stand are welded together, and it's a regular A-frame jack stand on the same plate. Somebody sent a link about it, and I don't remember where it is, but it is a thing. And it was kind of trippy to see because literally these two items just welded into one piece. And it's not like they made it themselves. It's a commercial product you can buy. Montana Handlebar in the house. Slop on a shingle in his family-friendly version. That's a good way of putting it. I like that. Bella, you look sad over there. So they're in the room working on the homework, and the dog is... Sorry, I'm knocking the mic around. The dog's sitting here going, but everyone's in the room, and I want to go in the room. You leave me out here with Dad. Hi, Bella Hound. What you doing? You make it look like that scene from the Blair Witch getting put in the corner. Oh, you're a good hound, aren't you? And Robert says white gravy here in Texas is just uncooked bread poured on top of a hockey puck painted white to look like food. Oh, that sounds terrible. Paul St. Marie says gluten-free, no-carb biscuits gravy would be a crime against humanity. I miss my biscuits and gravy. Yeah, that is... Yeah. Biscuits and gravy with a side of bacon. What have you got?
They're having trouble focusing on their homework.
Oh, were they beating each other? Yep.
Not exactly sure what was happening, but a yardstick got broken. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Ronald Smith says there's several generations that don't know about SOS and they don't know what they're missing out on, but it was a staple breakfast food for 4 generations even after the war.
It's amazing, and it's my favorite
really good.
meal in the entire world of all time. And that's when I knew when you really loved me because you made it for me.
Well, I was actually planning to make it again while we're up here. I hear Mother's Day is coming up.
That's a problem.
Oh. Wow. Change the battery pack. It's plugged in.
Not really sure how that's going to work.
Well, we just lost battery. Apparently, that isn't taking a charge. So, one moment, please.
One moment, please. So I'm going to read things. I'm not sure anyone can actually hear me.
You don't know.
Neither do you. Montana Handlebar says, at the Den of Tools, if they have them, they will be out on the shelves now. Limit 2 per customer per day.
See, there you go.
Jehu says, only 10 likes. What up with that? Steven Singleton says, at the Den of Tools, Harbor Freight in Delaware has gloves last week, but could only buy 2 boxes. Okay, well, that sounds good. 2 boxes is better than none. Steven Deswan says, at the Den of Tools, so I'd like to come out of that basement. So I'd like to come out of that basement with a concussion. Yeah, you will.
You would.
You will.
And her father did it so many times, he's wrapped several of the beams in like old towels and stuff. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't happen exactly like that.
Yep. And our friend who was recently out turning the water on from the city gonked himself as well.
Did he really?
He did. And I felt really bad and apologized.
Poor guy.
And then I proceeded to whack my own head. So yeah. Bear One says, there's a bear in my soup. I think the Den of Tools mom asked about the story behind being in Montana and Vegas. At the Den of Tools. Mom asked about the story behind being in Montana and Vegas.
So the story behind it, sorry, we're going to keep going here while the videos, I'm trying to get the other webcam up and working, but it's been kind of twitchy lately.
Yep.
So the story is that we moved to Vegas from Central California as it was a compromise with my ex-wife who also wanted to get out of California as a place that we could both move to. I have family had family in Vegas and have family still in northern Arizona. And so I was excited about that. Also excited about getting out of California. But you know, I've got 50-50 custody with my oldest, and we wanted it'd be a way for us to live near each other and have the kids be able to spend more time with each other and all that kind of stuff. The Montana thing, you can tell them about that part.
So the Montana thing is, this was my dad's house for about 35 years. And my dad passed away in 2012. And so I inherited the house. Our family inherited the house. And I love this house. To me, I think in a lot of ways it feels like my dad because it was my dad's. And so I feel definitely an affinity for it. So that's how the Montana connection happened. I lived here when I was a girl for a number of years, and I went to school here for 5th and 6th grade. I think I came back for 7th grade. Might have been the end of 4th grade. So I was here as a girl, and then I spent oh, look at that.
No.
No, don't look at that.
No.
And then I came out for the summers and would spend time with my dad here. And so we come up now with our family. I share with my kiddos. And they love it. They, a lot of them have caught their first fish here. There's a fishing derby every summer. They have friends here. Even though we are socially isolating ourselves just to be safe and to follow the rules, the kids in the neighborhood and the kids who my kiddos spend time with every summer know that we're here. And there's some kiddos who can see us from our patio or balcony. And so they wave, even though they know that we are not being social right now. So it's just great. It's great memories for my kids. So I love it here. And my heart will always be here in a lot of ways. So that's the Montana part. I feel like I rambled on for a long time. Sorry, guys. We are still working on video stuff.
Please stand by while we experience technical difficulties.
Hey, PJ Kentucky. How you doing? Great to see you tonight. So we are still working on things. Jan, I think it's Jan Garber says, at the Den of Tools, I grew up in Virginia. There, all liquor is sold in what's called the ABC, Alcohol Beverage Control Authority store. Here in Georgia, where I live now, there are package stores. Interesting. Says RBX 177 says, at the Den of Tools, if you get rid of look through before moving out of house. A lot of seniors like to hide money in books. Had a friend found $80,000 when his father passed away. I don't think that we will find $80,000 in books, but I definitely do look through books because my dad was such a unique guy. And he often used pictures or letters or mementos as bookmarks when he was reading. So I have found quite a number of those. Rex Racer says, at the Den of Tools, how do I get closed caption? I'm not sure how to activate it.
Yeah, closed captioning only happens after the fact with YouTube. And they've got a voice to text thing that does it automatically.
Bear One says, at the Den of Tools, if you need books gone, well, this bear kind of reads a lot. You'll have to email me. Well, I will definitely keep that in mind. Jennifer White Wolf says, sewer reline may be far cheaper. They pull a new line through the old one, busting the old line, expanding it, and the new pipe is right there. So we are going to be exploring all
That'd be
options.
cool if we could do that.
Sounds really cool.
In fact, I even said something like, because I'd never seen that, but I'd seen them do that with chimneys. And I even mentioned like, hey, I wish there was some sort of technology where they could do that, because I've done a reline with a chimney like that.
We'll try that again. Jennifer White Wolf says, old books, send list. Some of us love old books. Stores pay virtually nothing. They really don't pay anything.
No, they don't.
Didiz says, greetings from Wisconsin. Hello. I think my children are completely arguing right now. Mike Adams says, at the Den of Tools, Jeff, I heard you mentioning making a patio. I don't know your plans on it, but if you want concrete, I suggest reclaiming the cut-up concrete slabs from local demolition company. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah. That's a great idea.
Princess Jamie says, at the Den of Tools, my first plumbing experience was running hot water to the toilet. And always install a trap in a drain, as I found out the hard way. Oh, I know that's a bummer. Jehu says he's commenting on RBX 177 at the Den of Tools. Absolutely check books first. Well, so thinking about like treasures and things like that being concealed, I'm actually really interested what's in the walls here.
Yes.
I've heard from a lot of people that when they did remodeling or demos of buildings, that they found a lot of really interesting things in the walls. And this building this house is 130 years old.
Yeah. Built late 1880, 1890, something like that.
So I'm interested too. You know, sometimes people put things in there on purpose, and sometimes people put them in there as like a secret whatever. So I love looking at like old letters and things like that. I have found a number of things here. And unfortunately, I don't know if they are family treasures or what. So I'm still trying to do some research on that. But yes, I think when we do some of the demo stuff here and the remodel stuff, we will find super interesting things in the walls. So Echo, hello. He says, hello, Den of Tools. Super glad to have you tonight. And Mark Sparks says it's hard to find hamburgers here now. Fred Hill says, Den of Tools, I've had one of my tattoos for 19 years. For the last couple of months, one of my tattoos has been itching like mad. Has that happened to you?
Yes, I do have one of my tattoos. It's itching the snot out of me.
I have one section of one of my tattoos. It was my very first tattoo, and I've had it for almost 20 years. Are we live? Can they see that? No.
They can.
They can? That's a really great angle.
You like
I really feel like that shows a lot of amazingness. So I have had one for almost 20 days. 20
lights.
years. And I do have one that has a section that itches. So it's frustrating. Brad Payne says, if you're a plumber, 1 hot on left, 2 poo goes down the hill, 3 payday is Friday. But most importantly, never chew your fingernails. Ew.
Never chew your fingernails.
Please shut the door. Our children have lost their minds.
Real quick, we also set up our regular television, which, as you can see, was perfectly mounted into the whatchamacallit there, the shelving.
Yes.
That's a never-ending hole.
Hold on.
One moment, please. Yeah, that's gonna totally fall. Do you want me to hold it?
There's a bear for you.
Yes. Gary says, Den of Tools, good evening, and stop it. You're making me hungry. I'm kind of hungry myself. Griffin has decided he's starving. Jehu says, words of wisdom.
There's lasagna coming, isn't there?
Yes, well, the lasagna's done, but I was trying to get Griffin to do a little bit more work. A number of people are saying, rest in peace to the camera. It's not gone forever. We're just still working out how it works. Princess Jamie says, I guess I should unplug my Milwaukee battery charger and plug in my coffee pot.
There we go. And we're back. Sorry about that. So it seems I had plugged it, to USB powered.
It's super wide. Okay.
We had it plugged in via, USB power, or at least I thought it was getting USB power, but it's not. So sorry everyone. Trying to adjust everything here. And let me bring it closer. The angle on this camera is entirely different. You don't want to see that. That's stuff that still needs to get put away. We won't talk about that. Everything needs to find a home. So the new camera, let me show it to you here. As I said, just got it. Still trying to figure out all the quirks and features of it. It's the Canon M200. But apparently the power source is not working, or might be a bad USB cable, who knows. Well, we'll do more playing with it over the week and have it all set for next weekend. But that said, let me see if I can catch up on, I know I'm way behind on comments here. I think I'm so far behind that probably missed. Oh, there we go. Okay. Cut says we have a Farberware air fryer and the thing is awesome. Mike says my mother used to make a roast and use cream of mushroom soup as gravy to drizzle over it. That's an old cheat. That's a cream of mushrooms there's so many recipes I know that have cream of mushroom in it. There, let's see here. And it just jumped on me again. Come on. There we go. Have you tried, Futon asks, have you tried the Greenwood Super Deluxe hose nozzle from Harbor Freight? No, I have not tried that. That's the one that you can change the different nozzles on. I've tried those in the past from different companies, and I never liked them, so I just kind of gave up on them. And they always seem to work great at first, and then after a year or two, the nozzles go to heck. And Simon says I have a toaster oven that has an air fryer mode. Works well, but not very efficient as the outside gets hot, indicating the heat is escaping. And Randall says you should check out the Ninja Foodie. I got that instead of the Instapot. It's a pressure cooker and an air fryer. Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, Ninja makes some neat stuff. And Artie says, how was Las Vegas coping when you left? Las Vegas was doing pretty good. They didn't have a lot of cases, for the city as big as they are. They did a great job of shutting things down. But the reality is, other than a few hot spots, the West Coast is not having issues like the East Coast is having, which is leading to a lot of the questions. Elle, please shut that door. No one wants to see your bedroom. Come here. Come here for your beatings. There she is. How you doing? Did you leave Vegas with all the money? And bring back the gong? I did. I forgot the gong. It's back in Vegas. Much of Mongolia looks like Soviet-era Russia. Yes, it does. And in the vast land of upstate New York, Finn says, you may find a Harbor Freight which still has cordless Drill Master Sawzall and Jigsaw. Wow. Ooh, is that the lasagna?
We're sharing. Yep.
The lasagna, as I like to say.
Lasagna.
Michael Glazer. Hey, Michael. He says, good evening, you guys. Glad you made it there safe. We did. Traveler X says, did you film your trip to Montana? I did not film the trip because it was so much driving. I did, however, have my dash cam going, and I was able to catch part of. Luckily, I got hit. You didn't get hit, did you?
No.
I ran into golf ball size hail, just out of the blue, just huge. It was luckily they weren't fully formed. It was more like slush balls, but it was hitting hard. Everyone instantly on the road pulled over. I'll see if I can upload some of that footage somewhere for some people to take a look at.
Hey,
maybe
Heather's
I'll
here.
tag it into the end of one of my videos. Montana Handlebar says if they have them, they will be out on the shelves, limit 2 per customer. Steven says Harbor Freight and Delaware had gloves. That's the ones you talked about.
Hey, Heather. I didn't see your message. I do see that you're here.
It's here. Fred Hill says, weird, your lips move, then you speak. Now, that may be the case, but the one thing we've noticed is that YouTube lately is having a sync issue. Yeah. And that sometimes with a lot of the videos, we've had to stop the video and restart the video.
Not our videos,
Other people's videos. You should run a stream in your garage shop and show an interesting project we can easily do once a week. It would be cool. I would need to be able to do stuff like that. Up here in Montana, the house is the project. So, and trying to do a stream while doing a project, some people can do it. I can't do it. Are you familiar with Top of the World on Beartooth Pass out of Red Lodge? No, I'm not. Are you? Beartooth Pass, Top of the World.
Yes.
Okay. She is.
Stop.
Taking my lasagna.
Yep.
Randall says side yard can hold a shop space. And that's kind of what I was thinking originally, but it's also it's the only outdoor area really we have, and really want to kind of make a deck to have out there to set up maybe a table, some chairs, just have like a barbecue area to hang out. Because right now we just do that in the front yard. I mean, guess we can't keep doing it. Could put a hot tub out there too. But I don't know. It's either going, the shop space is either going to end up going in the side yard or I'm going to end up renting some space locally. And the question there is just how much is that space going to cost?
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good. And let's see here. Look into sewer relining. We talked about that.
Yep.
Book bonfires. No. Heinous comments. Jan says, I grew up in Virginia. There are all kind of liquor stores. We talked about that. Trying to figure out where we left off. Looks like you read through most of these. Mm-hmm. And we're now a podcast. Luckily, they could hear us.
Yeah.
In regards to your brush problem, I love the smell of napalm in the morning. There is if it wasn't so close to the house. Gary says, so take it you made it to Montana. Yes, we are.
Bella
free and clear.
She's getting some lasagna.
She loves lasagna.
You should see her face. No lasagna for the hound.
Jay, who says, you're stealing Joe Smith's idea. We went radio version. Mrs. DeBear asked Mr. Bear this. Harbor Freight launched SDS bits in the Hercules line, but no SDS. Did they jump the gun on the bits? That's a good question. Did they? I didn't even think about that.
The what?
So they launched, there's an SDS in the Bauer line, and they launched Bauer bits and Hercules bits, but there's no Hercules. I believe we've seen a picture of a Hercules SDS. I could be wrong, but I can't imagine that they're not going to come out with one in the Hercules line. It'll probably be corded, but I think they're probably going to come out with one. David Fry asks what your dad did for a living.
That's an excellent question. For a long time, my dad was a history teacher. He was a teacher on Native American reservations and in Montana, different places. And for probably equally as long, he also had a construction company. He was a contractor. And so a lot of when I was growing up, he would come to California during the winter and do construction when it was, or the summers. And so he was able to afford the house here and his life here by traveling and doing construction. I feel like there's other things I'm leaving out, but basically he either taught or he did construction.
Yep.
And it traded off.
Michael says, my great aunt hid money everywhere. You name it. There were a few bucks or more hidden there. I had an aunt like that. Like every book had at least $1 in it, if not more. And Simon says, I just got back. What happened? Why was the screen blank? The battery ran out in the camera, and the cable I had going to power for the constant power apparently wasn't sending it power, and I'm not sure why.
And it's the new camera, so we are.
It was a new camera,
we're still learning,
but it was an old cable.
Right. So we are still learning
yep.
how it works.
Brad says, Mrs. Bear, your story is similar to mine, but it was my grandpa and his cabin a ways from Cody, Sunlight Basin, right next to Montana.
Yeah.
I love that part of Wyoming down there. And Paul Seymour says, my friend is recovering. She says, yes, definitely better. I'm still pretty much beat by the end of the day, but definitely better. Best news I've had since COVID raised its ugly pointed head. That's great.
I'm really glad that she is doing better.
Insilence says, it's the computer in the computer in the computer in the computer in the computer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. A little bit of inception there going on. And Mike says there is a house in Limestone, Tennessee, dating back to the early 1800s. A few years ago, while remodeling, found a coffee cup and saucer with dried coffee still in it in the wall. And
wait, what was in the wall?
A coffee cup with dried coffee still in it, and the saucer.
I found a ton of jars of like I found a jar yesterday, a mason jar filled with peas. I have no idea how many decades old that is. I found a ton of coffee, like coffee beans, up in the attic. Like tons of coffee beans. Not really sure why.
The attic here?
Mm-hmm. Because I had to go through the snow door.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was kind of special. I think I missed a super chat.
For those of you who don't know, Montana, a lot of northern states have this. A lot of houses have snow doors. And what that is it's a door on the second floor of the house that you can get into because you can't get to your first floor doors because of the snow. And it's not like usually like a regular like house kind of door. It's like it's usually they try to make it look like it's part of the house, or they make it kind of fancy like a barn door kind of like crisscross timbers on it and stuff. Yeah. But it's not like a door with a doorknob kind of thing. What does that mean?
I don't know. That's why I'm showing you.
Okay. Fred Hill says my oldest my oldest tool is over 40 plus years old.
Wow.
And Paul says, are the itchy parts of the tattoo the same color? No. No, they're not. And what are we negotiating for? Was she negotiating for ice cream?
No.
Surprised about that. The rest of the ice cream is mine, just so you all know.
No, it's not.
The coffee in the cup was carbon dated back to the time of the Civil War. The owner put it back where they found it and framed it back in the wall where it was found.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. Master volume 100% in settings, on YouTube and the app. Really? It's so weird because we're hitting pretty good high peak. We have the volume turned up pretty much. I'll get a little closer to the microphone if that helps. But any higher than this and it starts peaking in the red, which means that it's overwhelming the microphone itself. There's only so much we can turn up on this side. Still better production than value than Linus Tech Tips. I like Linus. He's a funny guy. Let's see here.
Princess Jamie super chatted $2. Says another night without LMN. Love your show. Not sure what LMN is.
Lemons?
Lemons.
Hang
on, I didn't do my bell.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So thank you so much for the super chat, Princess Jamie. Ding, 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 ding. And I know I did this one instead of the cowbell. Hopefully that's okay. And let me know what LMN is, because now I'm feeling silly that I don't know what it is.
Will H says, I hope the trip went well. It did. It was actually
really
pretty
well.
painless. Fred Hill says MGM is reporting they're losing over $250 million a month. They had to lay off 69,000 employees. Yes. Fred Hill says I rebooted and that helped. Good to hear it.
Good.
And Dada Ross says, and now we have a clean door.
Where are you reading that?
Right here. Now we have a clean DOR. Dada Raw.
Yay! You took a shower, or maybe little bear did.
Wohawk says, I think a stream running through one shop would be a safety concern. It definitely a slip and fall hazard. That's for sure.
Niall Fox says, what's the idea of moving state in the middle of an epidemic? No wonder the U.S., with 5% of the world population, has 25% of the deaths. Well,
yeah, that's the reason.
We followed all of the safety procedures.
Social distance didn't.
We have a home here. We brought our own food in a freezer.
We're isolating here.
Yep. So.
Can I bring a blanket out there? It's cold.
You guys are only supposed to be eating out there in the caravan.
I know.
Okay.
Thank you.
The children must negotiate things when we're live streaming.
Sorry.
What do you has the dog had dinner?
Yes.
Has
She
been
wants
outside?
lasagna. Yes.
What do you want? You want scratches? Fine. Here.
She's like, you could scratch me.
Let's hear. Groove just says I think the lip syncing is on the other guy's side because it's absolutely fine on his side.
Oh, good.
Jeff Tohey says welcome back, neighbors from Bozeman, Angeles.
Hey, Jeff. I waved when we went through. I don't know if you saw.
We drove through late at night, and there was a hot cop action like every 5 blocks. It's insane. Lasagna, Wohawk points out lasagna is for orange cats, not hounds.
Yes.
Garfield's, I think he's talking about there.
And Heather says, you're really going to eat those carbs in front of me? Well, it was not a lot of carbs, but yes.
It's keto lasagna.
Ish.
As far as you can tell.
It's gluten-free.
And Rex says, just at the dinner tools. I guess he's saying hi. Jay says, your sync was off until you restarted the video. Now it seems to be fine. And David says, I just noticed that whoever sits on the left has the microphone problem. Big Bear is faint once in a while.
Interesting.
That is weird. Because I don't know if so I took the microphones off the stands. So I'm not even sure which microphone was which. I'm definitely using the same cable that I used before, but I am plugged into the opposite plug prior to that. So I don't know.
Did you guys follow that? Because I'm sitting next to him and I have no idea what he just said.
Yeah, it was technical. You just phased out right at the beginning.
I have my eyes glazed over and I'm like, what?
Is there a stay-at-home order in Montana? I think there is one of sorts.
There is. You are still allowed to go to the grocery store, do things for basic essential needs. You are allowed to go fishing and you are allowed to go like walking, hiking. Obviously, they don't want you to do something where you're being extreme because you don't want to take resources from anyone, like if you get lost. They do have a 14-day quarantine when you arrive from out of state or from somewhere else, which, again, I guess would be out of state. And so our numbers have been fairly low here in Montana. And I think most Montanans, they're doing what they need to do.
Jennifer White Wolf asks, why do they want us to do social distancing? What they really want is physical distancing. I believe social distancing is a older term that they came up with a long time ago. And it was not widely used, but somebody dug it up just for this. But you're right. I've heard other people, and in fact, commentators on the news and stuff saying that whether they should be calling it physical distancing, because that's really what needs to happen. Craig says, volume's so weak I can hardly hear you. Then it's got to be a YouTube thing, because I'm looking at my levels right now, and my levels are... So you have blue, yellow, and then red. And I'm constantly in the yellow. Like everything I've been saying here is yellow. And if I peak, it goes up into the red. So, it does at times go up into the red. So I'm not sure what is going on as far as that's concerned.
Craig is also saying the volume is low. And so
Rex is saying volume low. And it could just be a YouTube thing, because he says, signing off. Rick says, signing off, tired of hearing low volume. Listen every Sunday on same computer device with no issues until tonight. Same devices for us. Not sure what's going on. Yeah. In silence says, if the kids are negotiating for ice cream, I want in on the negotiations.
Yeah.
And Dale says, hey, Bears, glad you made it safely. Will Hawk says, I think you need the icon box behind you for proper sound. That may be true. That
might be the issue.
And Bear One says, you brought the bell. We did bring the bell. We did not bring the gong for some reason.
Yeah. Fred Hill asked when I lost my father. I lost my father in 2012.
Princess Jamie says, Lifetime Movie Network.
Oh, yes. Lifetime Movie Network.
And Mike asks, by the way, is social distancing going to be the new code for the wife is making me sleep on the house or put me in the doghouse?
Nice.
Yes, we are social distancing. And let's see here. How many hours is the trip? I think it's listed as like 13 and a half hours if you drive straight through. Now, and the way Google does it is Google doesn't do just straight drive time. They clearly take into account possible traffic and stuff like that, because I've done it in less time than Google says that it should take. We did it this past time. I got here about an hour ahead of you.
Yeah.
And
I'm really surprised that it was only an hour difference, just because we did make really great time, but the kids had to go to the bathroom a lot. That, it's just, they're little, it's boring to do, they were such troopers. I really cannot, it couldn't have gone any better. But they didn't need to go to the bathroom a lot. So the fact that we were only an hour behind you was really great. And I did pay attention to all of the speed limits. There were cops everywhere.
Everywhere.
There
was no speeding on this trip.
There's no. There were tons of highway patrol, police officers, sheriffs, like everywhere.
I can't remember being on a road trip and seeing, even like on Memorial Day weekend kind of thing, and seeing more police than we saw. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Eric says, any tips for buying single socket wrenches or wrenches cheaper? I have gaps in my sets, and a single wrench is sometimes as much as a set. Well, I think in that case, what you really need to look at is how much do you really need that one particular wrench. Maybe try and find one used. Look on eBay. When I do like my tests and stuff, like when I did the 10 millimeters, I was buying just a 10 millimeter wrench from all these different ones. And so I had to find, inexpensive ways to do that. And eBay quite often was a real go-to for me. Also, sometimes you can find them on Amazon. Now, granted, they're not going to be super cheap when they're on Amazon, but they're often not stupid expensive either. It's definitely not buying an entire set. And in some cases, I did end up buying an entire set. Like for the Craftsman one, I had to buy the entire set, but I was able to buy it, on sale with a coupon, so I saved some money there. But there are just some cases you're not going to get away with it.
Apparently, the volume went way up. A ton of people are now turning their volume down.
Really?
But they're also hypothesizing that because you're turning to look at me, or my thought is you're not actually looking at me, you're turning to look at the camera.
I'm talking off.
That when you do this, that's where the issue is.
No,
So
I
if
will
you're
try
able to rotate that. So, but you also turn
that's
it
the
up.
other thing is the microphone is in a different. It's on the opposite side from me from the position I'm normally in, and usually when I turn to talk to you, I do this.
Yeah.
So that
They
I'm
also
talking
said that
across
I
the
became
surface.
super loud. So whatever you did you adjust me?
No.
Okay.
I wonder if I bumped into your
normally
cable or something.
super, super soft talker, which is what he complains about all the time. So
Which is why I tell you to sit closer to the microphone.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Weird. Wohawk says I broke my nose on Monday. Let me tell you that breathing is not overrated. Oh my gosh.
I am so sorry, honey.
That's terrible.
And that probably means that you had to go into the hospital or, see someone, which is not super great right now.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you're okay.
Wohawk also points out that some counties in Iowa are allowed to have dine-in eating again at 50% capacity as of the 1st.
Yes, I have heard that a number of states are talking about that. Some places it's 25% capacity. But yeah, it definitely sounds like a lot of people are discussing and negotiating how is the best way to do it.
That picture you showed me, was that from Amsterdam?
I think it was Sweden.
They were using essentially, I don't know if they were from Harbor Freight, but they look like the Harbor Freight greenhouses to set up outside isolated single rooms for restaurants.
Yeah, it was a really cool photo.
So they had like a whole field of these things set up, and each table, and there was one table in each one, and you could get That way you could go to a restaurant, have restaurant meals, and not have to worry about the people next to you.
And it also had like a sliding door. So I think like the staff, the waitress or waiter could deliver your food and then slide the door. So, yeah.
Eric says 2 years ago, my stepmom passed away. 6 months later, my dad passed away. We found candy and money stashed all over the house in the craziest places because she had dementia.
Oh, that's really sad.
And Logan's Creation says, glad to see you got to Montana safely. Do you trust the Harbor Freight Air Connections adapters? Are they any good? No. Okay, I'm going to walk that back just a little bit. The new stuff, the Merlin stuff they have, is actually really good. The old Harbor Freight airline stuff, complete junk. There were some, it was one of those things where some of it worked, some of it didn't. The connectors usually worked. I'll say that. Like the quick connectors, that kind of stuff, that stuff usually worked. The real problem was with like the pressure valves and the air dryer and the oiler and all this, the slightly more advanced stuff. The really, really basic stuff seemed to work. But like the higher end stuff, no.
You don't look like you're super far behind, so I think you're almost caught up.
Oh. Ooh, I am. Well, no, it jumped on me. I thought it was. I'm not that far behind though.
Yeah.
Dave Fry, it's because you have to turn your head to the right to talk to Mama Bear. You fade out. All right, I'll work it. Because usually what I do, or at least before, was I would do this. Part of what's different is I'm sitting in a different chair that doesn't allow me to turn as much.
I think people are also mentioning that I just got the good mic tonight.
That
and
may
most
be
of
it.
the time, I constantly get from you that I'm not talking loud enough. So maybe it's not just me. Maybe it's one of the mics.
No, I think it's the mic stand because it's keeping it in the same spot and you're not drifting away from it. Because she's using my old mic stand.
That's true.
And Fred says, Mrs. Bear, when did you did we just talk about that one?
When did I what?
When did you lose your dad?
Yes. Yeah.
He lost
Oh,
his
no, I think he asked the same question, but
Oh.
he said that that he lost his dad in July of 95. He was only 60. I am so sorry.
Your dad was what,
my dad
66, 64?
was, you're making me do math. I want to say he was like 67. But just young, I was not expecting it at all. And I think that was the hardest part. Was it was very unexpected.
Out of the blue, we weren't
Yep.
there.
Yep. So that was really hard.
And Paul St. Marie says, gluten-free usually means you replace protein with more carbs. Always stay away from the gluten-free stuff.
I don't know if that's true with everything. I find that most of the time you replace the deliciousness and the yumminess of food with cardboard. But this is gluten-free pasta. It's lasagna noodles. So I use like between 6 and 8 noodles for the entire huge lasagna. Bella is like, you have gotten the right spot on my ear right now. She is like having dog fantasticness. She's also like pushing me all over.
Oh, my gosh,
Okay.
she's pushed me out of the chair.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now you got your little head stuck.
Come here. Come on.
Why are you encouraging
Say hi.
her? Okay.
hi.
Oh my gosh.
Hi.
Hi. So it's hard to do keto and gluten-free. Oh my gosh. The dog is out of control. You're very vicious.
She's very vicious.
She's like, I can't stop sneezing, Dad. I can't stop sneezing.
Oh.
So yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, I got my cigar all set up. I still haven't lit it.
You're not lighting that in the house
Why not?
because they stink. And as Eleanor would say, they're disgusting.
But it appeases the spirits. Steve likes it. Ask him.
Steve is mounted on the wall and he's dead. So I'm not asking him.
That's racist.
No, that's livingist, perhaps. Inslam says, your dog is so adorable. Thank you. She is.
I bet
She
they
really
want
is
me to smoke
adorable.
I said, but they want me to smoke it.
Who?
They don't mind, do you? You don't mind if I smoke?
That's because you're watching it at home.
Oh, now you're homist.
Oh my gosh.
Locationist.
Yeah.
Don't worry about you. It's 5x5 all the way. Thank you, sir. I don't think you have any volume issues on your end. Bear One says you do. I will say you do seem quieter. I have you at normal, at higher than normal on my phone for volume, and you are still lower. And we have the trains now.
Oh my gosh.
I forgot about the trains.
Apparently, there's a truck stop in Tennessee that has a buffet set up, but
Wow,
a
that's
server
bold.
serves it like a cafeteria.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting. Well, it kind of sounds like what they did on the cruise ships with the buffets when people first started getting sick. And I think that will be, I think buffets are kind of gone, to be honest.
You know what kind of buffet I like? Hofbrau's.
Anyways,
Meat
buffets
buffets.
are amazing, okay? And they're amazing.
Yeah.
And it just makes
Hofbrau's are
me
amazing.
cry. Okay, whatever.
Buffets
We
are
heard
just
your
bad food.
insanity.
Assorted for you to pick up.
Aw, Louis, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Bella, it's for dog treats. Dog treats. $5 for dog treats. Thank you so much. Do you want cowbell? Am I going to do cowbell?
If they don't specify anything, you don't count.
Okay. So if you have sensitive ears, you should cover them or take your earbuds out or
Cowbell.
mute your computer.
Daddy will hold your ears and protect you.
3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you so much.
Yeah.
Bella is going to be super excited about dog treats. It will probably be about a week and a half until we can get the dog treats because we're being good and not leaving. We're being good girls.
Hold on.
Groovejet says my mom's gluten-free, and in the 90s,
She would've
gluten-free
added.
was horrible. Gluten-free is disgusting for the most part. It has taken a really long time for me to get really good at baking gluten-free.
Figuring out which recipes actually work.
Yeah.
Not terrible.
And also like, you can read the instructions on the recipe or the box, but I have found that you typically need to underbake it. Otherwise it comes out like a hockey puck and no one wants to eat it. It's awful. Gluten-free bread, I am still working on that one. But otherwise it's okay. Scorpion Sunday says cowbell is back. Woohoo! Yes, cowbell is back. Or I should say we're back with the cowbell.
Yeah. It never left.
That's right.
Rex says, when you speak close to the mic, volume is fine. When you turn your head to wife, no sound. Yeah, I think it was because I had a rotating chair before, and now I don't. So when I turn, I actually turn before I could pivot around the mic. I'll try to be better
Sure.
about that.
Shut the door, please.
And Sean G says, speaking of audio, have you seen the RTX voice from NVIDIA? It's impressive for getting rid of background noise. No, I haven't seen that.
Sure. I'm basically sure.
The
Shut the door. Thank you.
Livingston is a 21-hour drive from Fort Worth. I'd rather fly than drive more than 5 hours anymore. I get the distance. I hate flying anymore. I hate getting cooped up on an airplane. I hate having to deal with security and jumping through all those hoops and all. I would much rather drive 3 or 4 days than take a 5-hour flight or however long.
Well, and also with the number of family members we have, just flying is
Yeah.
just so expensive. And then if you drive, especially right now with gas prices, so cheap.
Well, then, and when you get
then-
there,
I'm not done talking. Then when you get there, you have a vehicle. Do you see what I have to deal with? This is my amazing husband
we try to keep it very mature around here.
all the time.
And Ronald says, you sound good in Florida. I don't hear the trains running in the background. Well, that's something that is different. We've got the new dynamic microphones, which they're very directional. They hopefully won't pick up the trains like they did last year because we had that omnidirectional microphone and people could certainly hear the trains last year.
Yeah.
Uh,
Golf and Guns just made a comment about a coworker who is killing it making gluten-free wedding cakes. I would love to know who they are, because one day we're going to have a big wedding, and I would like to have a gluten-free wedding cake that tastes delicious.
And I was gonna say maybe we should put the picture of a wedding cake down there next to the tip jar. People could get you a wedding cake. And I just realized that I've somehow lost the picture for my wild turkey.
Where did your turkey go?
My turkey's gone.
Your turkey is run amok.
Ah. And Fred Hill says, I got an idea. Get a DVD player for the back seat. We got them tablets instead.
We have tablets that, it's really funny. The movie that Griffin watches on every single road trip for
nonstop,
like 3
I'll be right
years,
back.
has been Die Hard. That is the movie that he loves. And we have 2, if not 3 tablets. And I could only find one before we left. I had to make sure we had the rest of our computers here because the kids are doing school Monday through Friday. And so I had to actually download it onto the tablet that we took with us. So, yes. We have in the past had vehicles that had DVD players in the car. They are awesome. The Den of Tools. Mike is asking, how much is gas in Montana? Honestly, I want to say it's like 160 something here, but I could be wrong. I was very tired when I arrived here. It was late. And I didn't actually check the prices. But they're pretty reasonable. Definitely less than Vegas. Although, where did we stop? I stopped a couple times. I think Maverick gas station tends to have pretty cheap prices. Golf and Gun says, Die Hard is my favorite Christmas movie. It's mine too, which is where I think Griffin has gotten his love of Die Hard. It does have some naughty words in it. But yeah, so he loves to watch it. And he was super happy. Eleanor and I sort of bonded on music. I would put on a radio station and she would listen to it. And then she would she would sing all of the lyrics. And so I really got a new appreciation. Eleanor loves music, and I know that. But I had no idea that she knew so many of the lyrics to these songs. So that was really great. It was a nice mommy Eleanor time where we got to spend time singing in the car and looking out at the beautiful country as we drive to Montana. Michael says, at the Den of Tools, I came back inside from having a cigarette. I also was watching the video of the birthday ride for an 11-year-old boy today. Around 200 bikes showed up. Oh, that's really great. That sounds really cool. Ryan is telling me it's $1.72 a gallon in Livingston. I'm assuming you mean Livingston, Montana. Ryan, are you my neighbor? Am I going to stand outside and wave? Mark says it's $1.63 in New York. Princess Jamie says $1.27 in San Antonio. Fred Hill said, I saw a state regular gas was 99 cents a gallon. Bear, remember the cow sills? I don't know what that is. Joe and friends at Network, it's 120 there. Daughter of Ra, it's 149. Whoa. I have to say that gas prices are definitely nice. Although I know that the gas and oil industry is definitely not super great right now. But it's really nice for my pocketbook. Paul St. Marie said, not the great race. So, Ryan, am I going to run into you at the grocery store? I'm glad to see a fellow neighbor. Crazy weather today. I hope that you were safe at home. Somebody said, is it Bart? Said you've seen it as low as 128 in Georgia. 119 here in Florida, 118 in Campton, Missouri. 188 for super unleaded here in Ennis. So apparently I was wrong. It's 172 here, or maybe it went up a couple cents. Our friend and neighbor Ryan was telling us.
When you said it was 160, I was like, no, it's not.
I said it was 169. That's only 3 cents different.
Yeah, maybe it did fluctuate. I don't know.
But way to say I was wrong.
You're wrong.
That's right. Oh, yes. Now I'm with it. I'm really tired. Of course I know you, Ryan. I'm tired.
Hey, Ryan,
Hi.
how's it going,
Hi,
man?
my name's Jessie. I'm new here. So thank you for letting me know how cheap it is.
Long time no see.
Yes. And as soon as we're done being good boys and girls, we'll be able to come out and play.
We'll have to do a barbecue.
Yes. Dale says $2.39 a gallon in Northern California. $2.85 in San Francisco Bay Area. Bay Area of California. Yeah.
Behind the enemy lines in California. That's gas prices there never make sense. It's all taxes.
Yes. Joe Smith says at Jesse King and Den of Tools, prayers for Ed, the old tech guy, and family.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, we have definitely been thinking about him. He and his family are definitely in our prayers.
You know what we had to do real quick, because we
Yes.
haven't done it. It's been a while. And I apologize. We just got caught up with everything and the technical difficulties and whatnot. But it is time to adopt a mod where you can adopt your own, very own Den of Tools moderator. And what we mean by that is most of our moderators here are people who are also creators in their own right. And we like to share the love around here. So I'll ask you at this point in time to find somebody on the channel here who's one of the moderators. If somebody has a name that usually shows up in blue, has a wrench behind it. They all have a wrench behind it. They help to keep the channel, the chat moving along. They swing the band hammer on trolls. They help answer questions that we can't get to. They remind me when I get off topic and stuff, or when we have problems. They just help keep everything flowing well here. Excuse me. So what I ask is to also help support them is that if you pick your favorite moderator, go over to their channel and pull up one of their videos and throw them a like, and maybe leave a comment. Consider liking and subscribing. Who knows? Maybe you'll find some new great content that you've always been missing. You never even knew it. Joe Smith and Friends Network is a great one with his Friday Night After Dark, where he does interviews of other YouTubers and stuff like that. Daughter Raw, of course, has the best non-content in all of YouTube. And who else?
Echo Belkin, Paul St. Marie.
There we go.
Scorpion Sunday.
We like to, we believe that a rising tide floats all boats, and we're trying to promote the entire, community here on YouTube as a whole. So be sure to check them out. Also, want to say a big shout out, big thank you to everyone who's donated with the super chats tonight. It's all going towards, of course, our Barbecue 76 donated $2 super chat. Did that through the PayPal link. Thank you so much. Always appreciate when you guys do it through the PayPal link, because that goes, other than the small percentage PayPal takes for processing, goes to us rather than YouTube taking their very large bite out of everything. But that, of course, tonight is going to the Wild Turkey Fund, so that I can have something to do while I'm staying at home here. And
Are you saying that you need to drink to spend time with me?
Sometimes. It's been a while.
Nice.
And but anyway, and also want to say a big thank you to everyone who is a member over at the Den of Tools. That's everyone you see there who's got a little bear behind their name. Fred Hill, Brad Payne, Daughter Raw, and others here, Rex Racer. They are fabulous supporters of the channel, and really appreciate your constant support. So thank you very much. And have I left anybody out?
We have.
I'm sure.
We're super tired.
Yeah.
But, the community, we say this all the time, but I think it's really true. The community is so great because of each of you. And so when we say adopt a mod, we're not just saying it. We really mean it.
We mean it even more when we talk into our microphone.
Whatever. They know what I'm saying.
You're literally talking next to your microphone.
Well, it's turned up really high. Anyways, the point that I'm making is that you guys make the community great. Even if your husband's driving you insane adjusting your microphone. And that we really appreciate that you are here with us and that you each bring something different. But do check out other people's channels. They all have something great to say. And there is really room for everybody. So we super appreciate you. And thank you. You guys are all unique and different, and you make our community great.
Let's see. Moving on.
Wait, I didn't get to do the super chat. I didn't get to ring my bell. Don't you be trying to steal my
By
love.
the way, I'm eating a local favorite. Wilcoxon's, a chocolate river runs through it.
Not keto, but
It's very keto.
it's quarantine times right now. Barbecue 76 says, I'll come out and play now. I've seen the science. That's right. Barbecue 76. Where's my bell? Bing, 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 bing. Thank you. I chose to do that bell because I like that bell. Steven says, pick me, pick me. Okay, I'm going to help you with this.
I brought it for both of us.
Sure.
I know better than try to keep that for myself. Is your bandwidth and upload speed the same as it was at your ISP in Vegas? No, it's the upload speed is the same, which is what you guys are seeing. The download speed is about half what it was. What do you think of Milwaukee wrenches? Princess Jamie asked, made in Taiwan seems good quality. Here's my issue with the Milwaukee hand tools. They seem excellent quality. And as I understand it, I did some research into it. They're coming from one of the top tier factories in Taiwan. They're allegedly excellent quality. I don't like the ergonomics on them. They're trying to make them stand out, and they're weird. I don't like the way they fit in my hand. I've looked at them. I was looking at them at SEMA. Spent quite a bit of time playing with them. Just didn't make sense. No, what just happened there? Something, I just missed it. Did you see that?
No, I was looking at the dog.
Somebody made a donation, and I missed the notification on it. There needs to be a better notification.
I think, Barbecue 76, I think, did another $2 super chat saying that want to play. I'm done with this SH exclamation mark T hashtag done.
Yeah.
So, yes,
I
I
know what he
totally
means.
agree.
Yeah.
Cover your ears. Bing, 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 bing.
Well, and the good news is for us is right as we finish up our self-isolation is also when Montana is opening up.
Yeah, well, they started on Monday. So they've sort of started easing restrictions, and businesses have been able to open up little by little starting a week ago on Monday. There was something else. Work Pro Tools is here.
Work Pro, hey!
I saw you. It's weird.
Thanks,
I'm looking at you different places.
I don't know if I'm supposed to use your name here.
So hello.
What?
She would like some ice cream too.
You're not getting any ice cream.
No, she's not.
No. You're not getting lasagna either.
Was it a follow? Do we get something unique when somebody follows us? I don't think so.
Brooklyn Lee says, yeah, turning your takes your volume way down. Well, that's the problem with directional mics. Poet says you can find cheap single wrenches at flea markets if they have those in your area. And Silence says, I wonder how much an effect the room has as the acoustics being different than your place in Nevada. That might be an issue, but part of the reason we went with this style of microphone, which is what do you call it? They're non-powered microphones, whereas the other microphones we have, there are condenser mics. They are powered. I've just skipped on what the word is for this. It's anyway, it starts with a D or something. Anyway, it's an unpowered microphone, so they're very good for vocals and being right up on something, and they don't pick up much of the area around it. So really, the acoustics in the room will have an impact, but it should be much slighter than the like the microphone we used the same time last year. And
Dale's wife is a hero. Says, I stand corrected. Wife just came in. She paid $1.99 today, down 20 cents from yesterday.
wow.
Dale, good job on owning up to that. I'm going to do the cowbell. $5 super chat from Dale. Thank you so much. 3, 2, 1. That was really loud.
It was really loud.
That was really loud. I shall return. Try to catch up while I'm gone.
Okay. Well, do not hear it will be easy.
Oh, of course it will.
Ricky says today was the first time purchase of a power tool from Harbor Freight, and it was the 2-in-1 rotary drill. What is your take? Should be excellent. I've heard nothing but great things from those. I personally have never used one, but I've talked to lots of people who have them, and they really like those. Greetings from Alabama. Robert says, Fred Hill says they're wondering in 9 months, are we going to have a baby boom? Oh, yeah, 7 months from today. That's going to happen. Donna Ross says, speaking broken noses, my brother once sleptwalked into a tree, broke the very tip of his nose. I got frostbite on the very tip of my nose one time, doing a very dangerous pub crawl in Chicago in the winter. Wohawk says, actually, there's no waiting in the ED. Never sat in the waiting room. And Robert says, Texas has started to reopen places 25% capacity at restaurants. I cannot wait for them to start opening up around here. After you touched something, the volume went up for both bears. I wonder if it was a loose cable. Maybe. I don't know. You know, it's hopefully, well, as long as it's all good and everyone's happy. The Iowa idiots out wandering around. Hey now, Fred, come on. A lot of us Iowans around here. And Paul says, apparently Mrs. Bear has the good mic. Mohawk says, I even got to watch a few episodes of Knight Rider and Chips while in the exam room. Oh, Chips, man. Have you seen the movie remake of Chips? It's nothing like the TV show, but it's pretty funny. Scorpion Sunday in the house. How's it going? He says, hello, guys. Hello, everyone. Paul says, I've always had good luck with Harbor Freight air connections and hoses. The hoses, other than the really cheap hoses, which kink like nobody's business, the hoses are fine. You need some headgear Garth Brooks style mics. And that would drive me so insane. And Silo says, your dog is so adorable. Yes, the worst part is she knows she is. She's a spoiled princess hound. That's what she is. She's down there in the corner. Everyone can see you, hound. Hound. She's a Velcro hound. She's attached to mom's butt. Wherever mom goes, she's got to follow. Gary says a truck stop in Tennessee has their buffet. Oh, that's what we talked about the buffet before. And Major Weakness says, what is the status of the recalled Harbor Freight ratchet? Well, that's a good question. I recently sent in, through my contacts there, another urgent request for information, and I have not heard back. And if I don't hear back soon, I'm going to do a more public request for information. Get out the old megaphone and see if anyone's listening. Shaun of the Dead says, finally got to use my new zero turn that Joe Smith recommended last week. It was so awesome. Thanks to the Den, steering me to Joe for advice. That's awesome. Yep. Joe really does know his stuff. So that's cool to hear that you were able to get that and that it's working out for you. So it says, it's your house. Smoking or not smoking, it's up to you two. But it may be wise to appease the missus. I was just teasing her. I had no plans actually to light up inside. I wouldn't do that. We have cubs and a dog, and I'm not going to make them all
and
smoke
a wife.
my cigar. Not so worried about you.
And a wife.
I'm not one of those guys. I'll probably go sit out on the back deck and
you could
have a smoke.
commune with my father.
Yeah. And let's see here. Broccoli says, pretty sure if you light that cigar, you'll be social distancing on the couch.
Yep.
probably be social distancing in the truck.
Outside.
And Montana Handlebar says, a good cigar sounds good right now. Yep. And Special Moose says, I just tuned in. Chat and topic hits home. I lost my dad when I was 20. I lost my mother on Tuesday. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh.
She was 63, and I'm turning 35. I am so sorry. It's, I was gonna say, it must be, I don't know. I don't really have I don't know. How do you say? My family disowned me. So,
Yeah.
over alleged politics because they're psycho like that. And my father's side of the family left because basically stopped talking to me because his wife didn't want the competition or something. She wanted her son to be the only son in the family. So
Yeah.
So when it comes to parents, I'm kind of out here on my own. I don't really, get to have. I lost my grandparents when I was in my early 20s, and I think that's the last time I had a truly parental figure in my life.
Did you do these super chats or not?
I did not. I didn't know there were super chats. I guess I'm gotten further behind.
Fred Hill with the 199 super chat. Bear, seems like the tool trucks are sweating it.
Yeah, they're not doing so hot.
So 199 for Fred Hill. Thank you so much. Cover your ears. Thank you. Michael Glazer says $2. I adopted Joe Smith and Friends. Awesome. He has an awesome channel. Cover your ears. Thank you so much. Super loud. Pretty sure our neighbors can hear that.
Yeah, they're probably wondering what's going on.
Yep.
And let me zoom through these real quick. Fred says, last couple of years, my mother's life wasn't the best. Her mind was going, so I know she's in a better place. Bart Foster says, I used to live in Wyoming, had a train right by my house. We had tons of trains. Do you all get mostly coal trains? I would say, yeah, it's mostly coal. We get a lot of cargo shipping. We get airplanes for Boeings go through here, but mostly I would say it's coal. Frank says he misses the bing, bing, bings. Paul says, I'd watch it with a cigar or you'll wind up on the wall next to Steve.
That's right.
Wohawk says, shut the door. Were you born in a barn? I've said that before.
That's right.
I like that one. Groovejit says, my brothers and I went to USA in the 90s in a store in Orlando. I bought a keyring that says, I don't mind if you smoke, if you don't mind if I blank in your shoe. I gave it to my dad. Frank says, aircraft have tiny seats. They do have tiny seats. The biggest issue is the leg room, man. Hitting the knees and stuff. Paul says, Chewy.com is the bomb for pet supplies. No more schlepping bags of kitty litter from the store.
I might have to look into that. I have been trying to embrace delivery.
And Mike was asking about how much gas is in Montana. I think it was $1.70.
72.
$1.72. And Mike Adams says, what kind of drill bit would you suggest using to drill holes in one of those Harbor Freight craft magnet blocks? Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look at the magnet. I haven't really looked at the magnets. You got to be careful with magnets. They're very brittle. So I would find some way. Oh man, I've never drilled a magnet. I have no idea what is going to shake it apart. I think you'd want to do it high speed with a very sharp bit, and some oil to keep the heat down, because the heat will cause loss of magnetization, but it won't. I mean, it won't spread across the whole magnet. But I don't know if somebody's ever done that. Feel free to chime in here.
Yes.
The Gary says Mrs. Bear is nice and loud now. That's good.
Bear One, I'm so sorry. I think that you have already gone tonight. He says, I'm going to punch out for the night. Our neighbor likes their motorcycle.
I think it's a quad.
Maybe. Yes. I'm going to punch out for the night. I just have been a bit blah. Well, have a good night. Rest well. And we will talk to you soon.
Moto.
Are we not saying shut up to Moto? Are we feeling sensitive? about Moto's feelings.
Shut up, Moto. You're better now?
Yes, I am. I feel better now.
Hey guys, I'm looking for a handheld impact screwdriver for those rusty screws. What do you suggest? Bo asks. We talked about this like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Someone was asking for a hand impact screwdriver or impact, and I don't remember what the consensus was. I'm trying to remember who it was. Was it SK we were talking about? Maybe it was Tecton. Because all the like affordable impacts I could find were like for smaller stuff. It was kind of weird. Does anybody remember what we came to as far as the consensus for that? I'm not remembering it. And we'll come back to that. And Michael says, I just came back inside from having a cigarette. I was also watching the video of the birthday ride for 11-year-old boy around today. Around 200 bikes showed up for this. That's really cool. Joe Smith and friends said, we had a guy fly Miami to XNA on a 737. He was only passenger. They let sit in first class and gave them a bunch of free snacks. Told him he should have asked to sit in the cockpit. Can I fly the plane? And Fred says, I saw a state regular gas was 99 cents a gallon. Bear, remember the cow sills? I don't know what cow sills are.
I don't know either. I read those though.
The 99 cents a gallon. There was somebody commented recently that they saw 67 cents.
I saw somebody had 75 cents. That was the cheapest that I had seen.
Oh, that's insane.
Not me personally, on the internet. And we all know that no one ever photoshops things on the internet.
Yeah, that's true. Gary says, love trains, Montana Rail Link, BNFS, watching trains in Montana. Well, Livingston's a great place to watch trains, let me tell you what.
A number of people heard the last train. They're all like, I finally heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paulson Murray says, not the Great Race. I love that movie. Broken Lee says, Buck 44 in Brownsville, Texas. They're way down on the border.
Mark Sparks says, use a water knife for the magnet. Groove Jet was saying, use a tungsten carbide.
Apparently, they've got a very urgent
matter to deal with.
And there's now another train going through.
Of course, because why not? We have trains.
Yeah. Frank says, I haven't bought fuel in a month. Prior to this trip, I hadn't bought fuel in easily a month.
Yeah.
In fact, it was really weird to be driving as much as I was because I hadn't driven more than a couple minutes at a time prior to that.
Yeah.
And Wilhawk says, same as low, but 115, but 160 range is about average in Iowa. And Dale, 239 in California. Wow. 109 in Ohio, Paul says. And John Smith says, 249 for cheap gas in San Diego. Man, California just ticks me off.
Echo Belkin with the $10 super chat. Mrs. Bear, happy early Mother's Day. Bear, you have to wait till next month because that's June. So thank you so much, Echo. I really appreciate it. And the $10 super chat was awesome. Thank you so much for acknowledging Mother's Day. Mothers everywhere. If you have them, if you know them, if you helped one become one, appreciate them. Were you giving me side eye?
No.
Can I have a piece of cake since it's like literally this month?
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
Thank you, Dad.
Rex Racer with the $5.73
I like
super
she
chat.
took the answer that worked best for her.
Uh-huh. Says, haha, all this time it was the mic and you were telling Mrs. DeBear it was her. You owe her an apology or dinner when you can get out. Ha 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 ha. Thank you. I appreciate that. Someone else backing me up.
The good news is that she will have forgotten that by tomorrow.
I will absolutely have forgotten it, but then I'll remember it again.
3 weeks later, she'll be, no one will be around. No one will know what happened. And then by the time it gets around to tell somebody, she will have forgotten again. And she'll be like, there was something. I was going to tell you, and I was going to be righteous.
A lot of times what happens is I'll be like, I'm upset at you about something, but I can't remember what it is, but I know that I'm upset at you. And you're like,
yeah.
No.
Situation normal.
$5.73 super chat. Thank you so much, Rex. Thank you. I super appreciate that.
Shaun of the Dead points out you should use the Gas Buddy app to find low gas, which is a good idea.
Yes. Sorry, I moved the...
Yeah.
Sorry.
Frank says that it was 79 cents in Michigan.
Holy cheese and crackers.
Jay says, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Bear. How was the trip? It was long, but honestly, it wasn't all that bad. It was a pretty good trip. And Silo says, good night, Mr. and Mrs. Bear. Good night, sir.
Good
You take
night.
care. And Fred Hill says, Bear, what do you think? It looks like tool trucks. Oh, we're sitting swing it. They are. The problem is that even the guys that are still working, a lot of the shops aren't letting the tool trucks in due to the whole distancing thing. Fred Hill says, the bird wild turkeys are great. The bird's great. The bird in the bottle's great. All of it's great.
Go on. Go on.
You okay, Princess?
She's trying to figure out what bird in a bottle you're talking about.
The wild turkey bird.
No.
The ice cream?
Yeah.
Would you like some?
No,
you had cake.
You just had cake.
It was like.
Goodbye for now.
Shauna, this is about to pull the trigger on the Bauer line. I want one battery system for all my cordless tools. How is the 20-volt garden tools, more specifically their string trimmer? Thanks for what you do. Well, I'm smiling like that because I was about to give you all this information about their lawn and garden stuff, but you talked about specifically the one item of theirs I don't have. I don't have the Bauer string trimmer. I've got the Hart string trimmer. I've got the what's the other one? The Cobalt string trimmer, but I don't have the Bauer one. I've got the chainsaw. I've got the blower. I've got the hedge trimmer. But you know what? But if it's like all the rest of them, here's what I'm going to say. You don't buy it for the outdoor power equipment. You buy the outdoor power equipment because you already have that power line. And you're like, I already have this line of tools, and I want to expand its usefulness, and I don't have really huge needs. The blower is actually pretty good. I got to say that. It's as powerful, because it has a little reduction nozzle on the end. You get about the same kind of performance out of that as you get with most 40-volt blowers. Now, the string trimmer is not the string trimmer. The brush trimmer it's okay. You're not going to take down small trees or big limbs with it, but it will trim hedges. And the chainsaw is adequate for small trees and stuff like that. But that's basically what I could say about the whole outdoor power equipment line from Bauer. Is it's adequate, especially at the price that you get it for. Its real value is in letting you expand the usefulness of batteries that you would probably already have.
Fred Hill says, I have the Bauer string trimmer. I like it.
There you go. Much more concise than what I said. Work Pro says, glad to see you guys are safe up north. And Groove just says, do you think it's true about the virus coming from a lab in China? Another train?
Of course.
I don't know if it's true.
But of course.
I could tell you that, though, if it came out like we have hard evidence, I would not be the least bit surprised. Now, whether it was they were working on it for something and it got away from them, or whether it was a bioweapon that got away from them, or whether they did it on purpose, you can roll the dice on that one. Who knows what the communist government over there is doing.
Sorry. Rail 9222 says, have some ice cream for me. It's my birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Broken Lee says, don't you usually use a snowball microphone? You said this is directional. You might need to turn up your sensitivity on the mic if you're using the same computer. And that's it. Well, what I did adjust the sensitivity, and we did a sound check before we went live, and the sound check was good. Maybe I bumped something from us doing that until afterwards. But yeah, before we had the snowball from Yeti that we used, and it was decent, but usually the sound on this is much better. Scorpion Sunday says, as an electrician, I use mostly Milwaukee hand tools such as lineman pliers, channel type wrenches, and needle nose pliers. So Scorpion Sunday likes them, and he says, I tell you back, he loves them. And Groove Jet says, Milwaukee are brilliant, but I know what you're saying about the 12-volt drill driver. It's a bit weird in hand, but every other tool is the dogs, I'm telling you. Well, no, when I said hand tools, I thought they were talking about like wrenches and ratchets and that kind of stuff. I'm not a fan of the 12-volt drill driver because it has the battery in the handle. It makes the handle this kind of weird shape, but it's a great tool. It's a fabulous tool, and I've often recommended it as if you're going to buy a 12-volt system, that's the system to get into. Sorry, just trying to catch up here, see how far behind I am. I'm not that far. Novus Nix. Hey, Novus Nix in the house. Wait, where am I? Background is wrong. CD is wrong. Am I on candid camera?
Yes. We're actually all
you're
watching
in
you.
Scenic Montana.
It's very scenic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Princess Jamie says, thus the coral generation is born in 9 months. Then the 2034 will have the quarantinings.
Ew.
That's wrong. Just wrong. And Gary says, I got diesel for $1.42 in Minnesota. That's nice. Had a full run last week. 20 stops. Made last stop before a gate malfunction. Hard to unload when all the contracts only go up.
Ouch.
Di says, just pulled a tick off my head. Put it back in the freezer. Frantically checking the whole body now. Oh my gosh. I haven't seen a tick in forever, and I hope I never do. Honestly.
I remember the last time I saw a tick. Do you remember?
No.
It was on Miss Eleanor.
Oh, that's right.
Scared the holy cheese and crackers out of me. And when I was a girl, we went on a school trip, and a girlfriend of mine had one on her tummy. And at the end of the hike, she had another one. It was crazy. She's still totally fine. But I was like, what are the chances that you're going to have 2 in one day?
I love my shirt. What'd you get on my shirt?
It's snacks. I'm saving it for later.
And Tom says that they are on full lockdown until May 20th in Connecticut. Fred says, I'm 62 now, lost my dad and grandfather both at 60 years old. When I hit 60, it scared the crap out of me.
Yep.
And Michael says, get the hell back. What?
No, I thought it was bell.
Oh, get the bell back.
It's here. We still have it. Ding, ding.
Gary says he loved his uncle's pipe. Don't get her started on pipes.
Yep.
She loves pipes. She hates cigars. Trent says, please, for the love of God, don't submit yourselves to the living hell of dealing with Makita customer service. Stay away from the turquoise crack. You know, Trent likes to talk like that, but we know that he secretly, passionately loves Makita. That this is one of those things of, you know, I don't like you, but really I love you kind of thing. I think he's got one of those weird relationships.
Stop going back.
Yes. I can't quit you. That's right. Fred Hill says, Bear on broomsticks. What do you think of a 30-30? 30-30 it's an interesting round. It's not one that I currently have. We had one till someone stole it.
I'm not talking about that
out of this house.
I'm not talking about that.
Anyway.
I'm not going there because then I'll be very angry.
Yes. But anyway, it's not for me kind of round. I've had to standardize on specific rounds, and that's all that I buy anymore. And because if I don't, I get off in the weeds with all these one-offs because, I want this one, I want this, and then I'm scrounging for... No, I just keep it simple these days. 30-30 is a great round, but there's other rounds that will do just as good a job, and I can standardize on it and be okay with.
Don't worry.
Sorry.
PJ Kentucky says, break out the real bell. We've got it. This chair will not stop flipping around. It's driving me bananas.
It's the slant in the floor right there causes it to...
I wasn't going to say that, but yes.
Yeah, nothing's square around here.
It's custom. The whole house is custom. We're not sure who it's
vintage.
Custom for, but everything's unique, including us.
Ronald Smith says, I finally hear the train in the background. I just don't hear Johnny Cash.
If you listen really hard.
Coming down the track. Montana handlebars. Shut up, Moto.
That's right. You tell that moto.
Princess Jamie mentioned Capri has an impact screwdriver worth looking at. I believe we did talk about that one. And Matt says, I have Tecton's hand impact, and that worked well for me. Fred Hill says, I'm guessing 30-30 rounds should be dirt cheap. I would imagine they'd be pretty cheap these days. Poet says, the Cow Seals were a brother and sister singing back in the 60s. I have no idea who they are or what you're doing with your hair. Randall says the DeWalt planer will get here on Wednesday. I'd love to hear, dude, give it a couple runs and after you've like got an idea of what you think about it, shoot me an email, red@denatools.com. I'd love to hear your feedback. I'm always looking to hear feedback from guys, whether good or bad or indifferent, about what you think about something, because I add it all to my little database, because there's no way I can test everything personally. And even if I do test it personally, that's just one, that's one data set. Much better if I had like 5, 10, 50, 100, data points that I can throw in there. And Fred also comments that Cow Seals was a Northern California rock group in the 60s and 70s, but big hit they did was Hair. Interesting.
Chris. Hey, haven't seen you in a little bit. I know we have not had our morning.
Oh,
thanks.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Chris says 30-30 is great deer round, but so is 12 gauge.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. I'm going to ring the bell, so cover your ears. 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
308 is my go-to on a deer round. The Cow Seals was around about the time the Partridge Family with the Cow Seals were real musicians. Gary says, we use Petco, cheaper and free shipping. Wife likes not having to lug around 40 pounds of dog food. Yeah, it's like that for us. This hound will go through some chow. It's getting to be a fat hound.
Shh.
Paul says, time to
She's
break
a
out that
fat
chip
hound.
beef on toast recipe. We'll have to do a video on that.
That would be fun.
And
I keep trying to be like close to you because I love you, but then my face is.
Fred says he has the Bauer string trimmer and he likes it. Can't wait for Bauer to release their 5 and 8 amp hour batteries. Should be not too much longer. Excuse me. Montana Handlebar says, night all and rest well. You too, sir. By the way, we really miss your habanero
The spicy salsa.
salsa. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good stuff. We met up with him last summer. We were headed up to, was it Great Falls? Yeah, we went to the fair up there and we ran into him and somebody else, and he gave the missus some of his homemade habanero salsa. It was really good.
It was really good.
Let's see here.
It was also really spicy, but really good.
Somebody asked if we've seen Bigfoot yet. I'm like, you're looking right at him.
I'm married to him.
Size 15.
Have you seen his
Extra
feet?
wide, man. Doesn't get much bigger than this.
Yes, people laugh at us when we go to the shoe store.
Gary says, damn, spell check all the gate buttons on the controls for the gate. Oh, I was wondering what was going on. Yeah, he pressed them, they all go up. Rodney says, hello from Branson, Missouri. If I didn't forget this week.
Yay! Hope things are going well with your projects.
Neil says, Tecton screwdriver impact broke within a week of him getting it.
Wow.
That's a bummer. I hope they were good on replacing it, because that's one of the things that Tecton's known for is excellent replacement thing. The November Romero says, I have the SIG P320, but a little big for EDC. Do you have any hands-on with the 365? I've not shot the 365. I've handled it plenty of times. It's this one gun that's like, I don't know if I want to buy it, but I keep obsessing about it. And I think I'm going to end up getting it as a carry gun. I used to carry a Car P9, and it's about the same size, but you got the double stack in it. I had the P320, and I sold it because it was really thick. And you can get a smaller compact, but it doesn't get any slimmer for the frame. And I didn't like the ergonomics. And I got big paws. But, I'm so used to carry guns because I was a CCW instructor. I started also with 1911, so I'm why are you over there smirking at me? Smirking makes smirks a lot. Anyway.
Oh, Matt just has some great ideas for a video.
Is it about me buying that 365 finally?
No, it's you're gonna dress up in a fursuit and shoot a video up in the mountains. And then daughter Ross said, "Sounds like he's trying to get your behind shot." And I'm thinking, probably yeah.
Yeah. No, not around here, brother. You don't play that around here.
Neil F said that
You'll
they
end up on someone's wall.
yeah, or dinner table.
Yeah.
Neil said that they did warranty it.
Good. Fred says in 2018 I had to have bypass surgery. Both my dad and grandfather died from heart disease. This scared the crap out of my wife. I bet it did. I'm glad that you're back in with us, though. Paul says, ticks, I loathe those things. Flying rockets in a field in Ohio, I ran into a patch of grass and had dozens on my legs.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I would lose my mind.
Gramute comments that he has the DeWalt planer and that he loves it. I don't know anybody who has it and has been like, this thing isn't the bee's knees.
Groovejet.
My brother, Groovejet says, my brother dropped the Milwaukee 18-volt vibrating multi-tool off a second-story house roof we were working on. The cutter securing lever snapped, but still works great. And Fred Hill says, I'm guessing then the possibility of 30-06 is better. 30-06 is a fabulous round. It is one of the best 30 gauge, the 30 caliber, 30 gauge, 30 caliber rounds out there. And it's got enough room in that cartridge. You can go Magnum on it. You can do so much with that round. And I had one and I sold it, and I settled on 308. And I settled on 308 because the military and the police standardized on 308, and that's where you saw most production going. And you don't see very much 30-06 being done these days. Most of it is done in 308 because of that other stuff. They always follow the police. They always follow the military. It's usually the police follow the end user follows the police, who follow the military, which, usually in line with the feds as well. And it just seemed the way the trend was going. And I was trying to standardize on one large caliber round. If I get another one, it's probably going to be a 338 Lapua. Actually, that's not true. I might do a 300 Win Mag. But the 30-06 is an excellent round. You cannot go wrong with it. Sean the Dead says, for sure, into the Bauer line for the power tools, not for the garden tools. Mark says, Cowsill sang the song in Dumb and Dumber, commonly called The Flower Girl. I knew she could make me happy. Flowers in her hair, flowers everywhere. Matt says, here either, if it looks like game, it's fair game.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And Trent says, you're right. I love talking to someone who can understand every third, fourth word at best. Explaining their plastic cracks easy in the cold weather is just like talking to a wall. You gotta wait. Sorry. Sorry. I'm like I was just waiting for my chat window to skip on me, and it didn't. I'm like, why didn't it move? And I'm like,
because you're all
caught up. Sorry. Silent Dawn says, my ears always perk up when you start talking firearms. Yeah, I'm going to start talking more on the other channel. I'm going to start moving a lot. I'm going to start doing videos about it stuff. Your face is in the text chat window, right? I think it's getting close to 9 o'clock for someone here.
It might be.
Yeah. She's been having trouble sleeping and getting, there's
Hence
a time
the
change
really
here.
attractive
We've been really
eyes.
busy. She's been really busy. So someone needs a nap. A long, long nap.
It's nice of you to talk in the third person, honey.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Talking to you.
Okay. Sean the says, I think Palmetto State Armory is releasing their Glock 19 clone this month. That's on my list. $300 with a lifetime warranty. And, well, that sounds pretty cool. What I'm surprised, and I guess in the United States we don't talk about it much, is everything here is Glock this, Glock that. And if it's not Glock, it's 1911. One of the most copied guns and the most widely made guns in the entire world is the CZ75. Excuse me. Everything from the IWI Jericho all the way up to, again, the IWI, the Desert Eagle, So many of these guns are cloned because they were made during the Soviet bloc era, so there's no patent on them, and they're a fabulous hand, and I love single action, double action. I have to say that I'm not a fan of striker fire. I carry striker fire because for CCW, that's usually for deep concealment. That's usually the best way to go, and so I just standardized on it. But I would like to see a lot more done with some of the clone stuff with the CZ75. I'd love to see a polymer base. Actually, you know who makes? Ow!
Karma has gotten you.
Karma for what? My knee just popped on me.
I don't know.
Of all people, Rock Island Armory does a clone of the CZ, and they do it in all metal, and they do it in a polymer base. And I've been trying to find one for like 5 years, and they're impossible to locate. I wonder if I can find one up here. We'll have to look around.
Sorry, and Fred Hill says, thinking about going hog hunting down in Texas.
Ooh.
I am super interested in anyone that has actually gone hog hunting because that looks amazing and scary all at the same time.
Some of the subdivisions down there, you can just do it in your front yard. Paul says, excuse me, 140 years old he was talking about. Prince Jimmy says, look at the 300 Norma or 300 PRC. Shaun of the Dead says 30-06 is great all-around hunting round. It's offered in a bunch of grain loaves for whatever you need. Grimute says, I wanted to let you all know that Ed the Old Tech Guy couldn't be here tonight because of a terrible family illness. So please keep him and his family with your thoughts. We were talking about that earlier, and we don't want to, of course, go too far into it, but they are having a really hard time with this family. So please keep a thought for him. Also, we have several members in the den who either they themselves have COVID or someone that they care about, and people that we haven't heard from in a couple weeks.
Yep.
William and
Gary P.
Gary P. and his wife, and so.
And I think sometimes people get concerned, like if they don't know all the details, blah blah blah. And my big thing is, I just pray. Sometimes my prayer is I don't know all the details, and that I just pray that, wherever the healing needs to happen, happens. So it's not important that we know everybody's name or the details or what state they're in. Just say a prayer and hope that everybody gets healthy.
Yeah.
I hope I didn't step on your toes there.
No.
Ouch.
Klein Guy John in the house. Hey, man. How you doing?
Hey, Klein Guy.
Hey, Bear and fam. Just dropping by to say hello. Hope you're all safe and staying healthy. Face was in the chat box. LOL. Hey, are you still doing videos? I wonder if YouTube kicked me out of your subscription thing or something. I just haven't seen any of your videos uploaded recently. And Fred Hill says no South and West or Smith and Wesson. No Smith and Wesson.
Yeah.
Eric says 30-06 got a level round. You can put a 125 grain boat tail on and shoot 800 yards flat or 300 grain and shooting. You could do so much with the 30-06. You really can. I don't know why they didn't standardize on it, to be honest. I think it is a much better round than the 308, but I went with the 308 for standardization. And 7mm. Mark says, I've used a 7mm 08 pistol. It was a 308 case necked down to 284. Wow. Nozick says, we are allowed to talk guns without loss of monetization. We can talk about it, I think, like on the live streams. As long as we can't show it, and the video isn't about it. It isn't the topic at hand. So it's... and I'm not really worried about monetization on the live streams. There are only a handful of people. The core audience watches the live streams. So it's...
But that's not what this channel is going to be about.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to start doing more of it on the other channel. Trent says 308 and 30-06 ballistically are essentially twins. The advantage of the 308 has over 30-06 is short action, less recoil. And that was my understanding was the short action was the real reason that people went with it because they could do the on the what you call it on the bold action that they could get faster follow-up shots with the 30-06 that and the recoil than they could with the with the 30 meant with a 308 rather than the 30-06. Princess Jamie says hog hunting is fun. No Six says please hit the like button. Thank you very much, sir. And the November Romero says I went hog hunting in Florida on a motorcycle in 2011. Hit a 230-pound hog at 70 miles an hour. I'm just amazed you're alive. Thank God.
I thought that he meant with the firearm.
No, I think he meant with his motorcycle.
Oh, that changes things.
Shaun the Dead says that PSA, that's Palmetto State Armory. If you guys don't know, Palmetto State Armory is known as a place for getting usually AR-15 black rifle kind of parts at a substantial discount. They're I don't say low quality, but they are a cheaper supplier, usually one of the bargain bin ones. But they have some interesting stuff as well. Anyway, he says they're releasing their MP5 with a true rotary bolt like the HK MP5. Well, that should be interesting, especially if it performs as well. I know HK re-released their MP5 along with a standard HK price attached to it.
Klein Guy John says he has to go. He said, I've made a couple of live streams and a few videos. When you have time, check them out. Good night, fam. Sorry, I accidentally something myself. Added myself. That's totally fine. Sounds like something I would do.
No Six says we don't need a license in Louisiana to take down boar and hogs as long as the hogs don't belong to somebody.
That is a good point. If you go hunting in your neighbor's farm, that's a no-no.
I will say this. California, for as bad as they are, their hunting regulations are ridiculous. But for hog, you do need a license, but you don't need tags, which is insane for California to be like limitless tags on pig. So pig and dove. There's I think it's European dove, but you can hunt dove without anything as well because they're a non-native invasive species. The Fred says I've been sick for over 5 weeks. Thank God, not current.
Oh
You're still sick. Oh man, I hope you. Yeah, I'm sorry. I hope you feel better. And Grimute says let's keep all those in need in mind.
Yep.
And No Snake says just pray for healing. God knows who is in your heart.
Absolutely.
Good
I
point.
could not have said that better. That was very articulate.
Neil says, agreed. So good to see outreach and support for everyone. I wish we could do more.
Yeah.
And Klein guy said, oh, this one you ready where you've done a couple of videos, a couple live streams and a few videos. Keep it up, man. You got some great content. I'd love to see more. And Joe Smith, 408 High Tech. See, this is why I don't hang out with people like Joe, because he's trying to drag me into, next thing you know, you're doing Wildcats and you're making up your own stuff. And no.
Brad hit a raccoon that has been getting my chickens early this morning at about 900 feet. A second long colt. Interesting.
Wow.
Well, I'm sorry about the raccoon, but he was eating your chickens.
Fred Hill says World War I and World War II, the U.S. used the 30-06 in the M1 and the M14, a lot more damage than the 223 and the 5.56. Wasn't in the Browning also? Didn't Browning have a 30-06 machine gun? The Daniel Defense for AR parts. Daniel Defense makes some excellent stuff.
Okay.
And
one moment, please.
Trent says, get the 7mm 08 has the ballistic coefficient of 7mm, which is better than 30 caliber, and accuracy of the short action is better than the long action, and will have less barrel wear. And Tony says an old school 5110 sharp. Yeah, get right on that. Lawrence says U.S. military is looking at the 6.5, the Creedmoor and the 6.8. I've heard back and forth so many things about the Creedmoor, and it's, I don't know. Maybe we'll figure something. I don't know. I think if I did go that route, I'd want to have it in something like an AR platform kind of style where I could swap it out, like swap out an upper. I wouldn't have to like fully commit to it or something. I don't know. Paul says, I thought the only difference between 30-06 and 308 was the size of the casing. Modern smokeless powder don't need as much room as what was needed in 1906. Not true. True to a point. You can go to a Magnum round. You could do a lot more with the 30-06. Now, granted, with the new powders they have, the 308 will do some stuff, but they're very close to identical rounds. They're within spitting distance of each other, which is the reason why I didn't have, I would have preferred the 30-06, but I didn't like shed a tear, having to go with the 308. Fred says, can't wait to get out to the range. Wild hogs down south, they're so bad. They're tearing up everything. You don't need a tag for hogs. I can't wait to get out here. I got my 308 I brought up with me. I brought all my guns, actually. But going to do some pistol shooting on my new builds. So I'm looking to get out and have some fun. 444 Marlin Mag, the hog round. Trent says 6.8 special. And Fred says they're looking at the 458 SOCOM. I did hear about that, actually. I saw something that for the new squad automatic weapon, aren't they? They're looking at the 458 SOCOM. And Shaun of the Dead says the bummer with 6.5 is it's stupid expensive. Yeah. Excuse me. All right. Well, and that is Jimmy Buffett has made your tiny town famous. Did he? Did he sing about Livingston, Montana?
He might have.
I don't know. 6.8 is on the AR platform. Well, as I said, I may try it. I don't know. There's so many other things I want to do.
We have many house projects you need to work on.
Yeah. House projects. That's definitely what I need to worry about. Anyway, it's 9 o'clock. That's all we have time for tonight. Again, before you leave, please hit the like button on your way out. YouTube really likes it. It really helps out the channel. We appreciate it. Thanks for putting up with all our technical difficulties tonight with the camera. We're going to get that all figured out. The lighting is certainly very bright. And thank you for your support with purchasing the camera and the lights. It's been great. Again, all the Super Chats tonight are going towards my liquor fund because I need it after this week.
And we're in a state where it's more expensive than others.
Yes. Thanks again for everyone who, as I said, supported us with Super Chats. For everyone who is a member, it's kind of like Patreon, but over on YouTube. That's how you get the little bear behind your name. Links if you're interested in that. Links for everything is down below. Also, a big shout out, thank you to all our mods here. Don't forget to adopt a mod. Your one last chance tonight to adopt your very own mod. Take them home, wrap them up in a package. Anybody with the blue wrench behind their name, they're a moderator. They help the channel. They help us stay family friendly, keep us focused, and just keep the chat flowing and all that kind of good stuff. So please go out and check out one of their channels. And don't forget, also special thank you to Brad's Workbench for sponsoring the cowbell.
Yay, the cowbell!
Brad sent us this cowbell when the other cowbell. Where is the other cowbell? It's down in there, I think. There it is. It's under that thing. The big white thing. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
So this is the second cowbell we had. We had a little mini cowbell that was insufficient. So I picked up this cowbell at Tractor Supply And as you can see, it doesn't well, and it hangs the little hanger thing in there, so it doesn't clunk the way it used to. So
Eleanor said we could use these.
that was nice of her.
This is North Dakota, and this one is Wyoming.
Don't you have to say that one as North Dakota? Don't you know?
I said North Dakota.
North Dakota.
Dakota.
Anyway, that's all we have for tonight. So stay tuned. We're going to be back Monday through Friday. We're going to be doing over on the Bears Den. We're going to be doing Stock Talk, and Jeff and Jesse in the morning. We do a 1 hour every morning, and and that's going to be at 9:30 Eastern time, whichever time that is where you are, because we do it based off of when the stock market opens. And we'll have the regular videos and everything else coming out. So
Halen Wolf on traffic.
Halen Wolf on traffic.
Jay, I think is.
Jay was doing weather. We don't know who's doing sports. Somebody said they were going to do sports.
Somebody did say they were doing sports. So, yes, Monday through Friday.
Come by, check
hour.
it out over in the Bears Den. Hope to see you there. And we're going to do more gun talk and other videos over there when I get around to doing them. Anyway, until such and such time, you all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.